All right, everybody, you can continue to talk.
DJ, can before we continue, can you pin the link to my GoFundMe, please?
So wait, hold on one more second. What was that? Go ahead.
Can you pin the my GoFundMe?
Okay,
On
let me get the live going again, and then we'll do that late in a minute.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Where in the hell? You guys can talk. I just got to get everything going here. We're live right now. People can hear us right now.
So, Melinda, what do you think good men need to do
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
improve?
wait, 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 wait. Um, Melinda, are you through sharing what you wanted to share about that situation?
Yeah, if they had questions, but was that Diamond talking? She's about her GoFundMe. Was it?
Yeah. Um,
Okay. As soon as he posted, yeah, okay. I'm
yeah.
so sorry, Diamond. My condolences.
No, it's okay. It was
Okay,
We're
it
sorry for
was.
your loss, Diamond,
we're
man.
here for
Rest in
you.
peace, man.
So
I'm
then
sorry
he
too.
posted.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, huh?
You guys can talk.
Anybody want to go?
Okay, so we'll let's give a synopsis. So what we've done is we've talked about this young lady. She's 24, I believe, years old. She has one child that's 5, and she's wanting to get married to someone who's going to provide her with a quote unquote soft life. She wants to be a housewife. We saw a man that was 50 some odd years old who married a 19-year-old when he was in his late 40s, and he's saying that he divorced this woman and he had 2 children, 8 and 5, I believe, by her, and now he's saying that she was too immature. And so what we're talking about is how that dynamic works, in terms of for the woman, and how uh you can have a soft life, or a hybrid of a soft life, but the thing is for you not to be completely financially dependent upon someone that leaves you in a position to where you have absolutely nothing in terms of in the event of death or divorce. Because there's a lot of times out here where you see young women who have lost their husbands and they've been left destitute because they were financially dependent upon this person, or they're left in a position where they didn't know um, all the bills. They weren't aware of all the financial responsibilities, nor were they aware of what was in the financial savings or checking account, and sometimes it was nothing. And this happens also in the case of divorce, where women have put themselves in a position to be solely dependent upon men that decide that they no longer want to be husbands, and they don't have anything to fall back on, or they're forced back into the workforce without a skill set or without a trade or something. And so that's what we're talking about. We're also talking about the crisis of single mothers, and how it's extremely important to be well informed. It's extremely important to not be reckless with yourself and to advocate for yourself, because you are your best advocate.
It kind of reminds me of this recent story that I heard about this Belgian man. He had a 17-year-old wife. It kind of reminded me of this story right here. He ended up leaving her to marry another African woman in Belgium and left her as a single mom without any warning. And it goes to show you that these guys, no matter where they go in the country, they can say that women in other countries are submissive and They know how to cooperate. They're easy to get along with. But these guys, they do the same thing everywhere else. They leave these women as single mothers to go wife up another woman, and this cycle goes. It continues because these guys do not have any sexual discipline, and I felt really sorry for this girl because she's in Africa. She doesn't have any financial support from this guy because when she went on social media to explain her story, the guy threatened her, and he told her, if you go public with what happened, I will no longer financially support you. And these women are under these women come from these poor countries, and they're under. I don't know if they're aware or unaware that these guys like this exist, but these women are thinking about getting out of their their uh their situation with poverty because they want to live a a, a decent lifestyle, and these guys take advantage of that. So yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Haven't y'all noticed this double standard in the manosphere? It's like a young boy that's 18, 19, he can go out, have fun, fool around. I mean, he gets a pass from making bad decisions when he's young and stuff, but like a young girl of like the same age, a young lady.
Wait, JP, you
Oh,
said
my bad.
no, not your bad. I just want to qualify something. You said they give a younger guy a pass. They give a 90-year-old man a pass. Like there is no such thing as no passes in the manosphere. They all get passes.
Oh, I know that's true, but it's like a young lady can't be young, but a young guy can. That was kind of my point of like, noticing that double standard. Because, I mean, a girl 18, 19, I mean, let's be honest about this. I mean, nobody at 18 years old is ready for, the commitment and the responsibility that it takes to, maintain a marriage.
Right.
Not in today's time anyway, but, but a lot of these guys, I mean, they expect, these super young girls to just
No,
already
they
know
don't
how to
expect
be.
that. They don't expect that. What they want to do is groom younger women. They don't expect them to come knowing anything. So they want to groom them into the women that they want them to be. And what happens is the same thing that happened with that 50-something-year-old dude. They're going to have young children, and the woman is going to figure out this is not the life that I wanted. And he's going to end up being alone again, and she's going to be a single mother because they want to control these young women. They want to, and again, when you juxtapose a 40-year-old, even a 35-year-old man with a 19-year-old, a 30-year-old man with a 19-year-old, it's not, you're not even in the same generation. You don't relate to the same things. Your ideologies is different. Your life experience is different. Now, when people get older, up in age, the age gap doesn't matter as much because people have experienced life. You see what I'm saying? But they want these young women because, one, they're pervs. Two, they want to control someone who doesn't know the world and who wouldn't be aware of how, what's the word I want to use? Well, how decrepit their lifestyle is, essentially, that they really don't have anything as far as other people in their age group. Like a 40-year-old man or 30-year-old man, 35-year-old man living in an apartment is not going to be unappealing to a 19-year-old woman. If he's driving a broke down car and he's working menial jobs and a whole bunch of side hustles, that's not going to be unappealing to a 19-year-old. Whereas a 35-year-old woman with a degree, her own career, her own home, that's unappealing. He can do nothing for her. You see what I'm saying? So they want someone without the life experience who knows where this person should be in life. They would be able to impress a 19-year-old, whereas a 35-year-old woman would be like, no, thank you.
Well, Gemini, you know what this reminds me of? I mean, it reminds me of something called sexual conflict. And now this goes beyond, men and women, the manosphere and all this stuff. I mean, you got animals that, the male animals will, have certain strategies as far as like securing access to sex and vagina and stuff. This whole thing ain't nothing but an extension of that, where we're like, when the women become pickier and choosier for whatever purpose, the guys will devise tricks and strategies to basically out manipulate or outwit. And since a lot of these guys aren't like educated or intelligent enough to do that, then the next step would be, oh, okay, let me just find somebody younger with less life experience, and maybe they could just run game on those younger girls and,
Right.
prey on them basically.
Right.
Not that that they actually care about the young girls or actually want to do good for them as people, but it's all about securing access to some vaginas so they can go and brag to other guys about some I don't get the bragging point behind it, but this is what a lot of guys do basically.
Well, the bragging point is the people, men with like minds of theirs. Because let's just be real, there's not a lot of black men outliers that are in these spaces that are actually doing doing what we would think is something that we would want to be in proximity to. You understand what I'm saying? They're not the men that women are looking for. They're just not. They're the men that think that they're what women are looking for, or they want to be what women are looking for. And that's just not it. And the idea is to change women's minds and make them think that they're undesirable to any other demographic of men. One, they want to make them think they're undesirable because maybe they have one child. They want to make them feel like they're undesirable because they're career women and have chose to seek out a career before they seek out a family so that they could be secure no matter what happens. So there's a lot of things that they want to disqualify women for. And women just, a lot of women just aren't going for that. And the truth of the matter is, men who are educated, men who are business minded, men who are fiscally responsible want the same thing in a woman.
Right.
I think the unfortunate part is kind of how we're viewing women who have children, because this woman mentioned soft life. I think she may be getting that from a lot of the online stuff. I came in kind of late, y'all, with the stream. It's like to say that she may not exactly know what that is, and the fact that she's very young and willing to already put up with stuff that she shouldn't have to put up with. You know what I mean? But I think the way Kendra had answered her, when she said, "Are you going to be a comedian or something?" Again, I think that also culturally, there's a carrot dangled and told to black women, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. But I can't wait till the era comes when people stop holding women who have kids to such a low state, because I've never seen this before. It's pretty disgusting.
I think I'm going to be contrary, but I think the thing about one thing I will say is that single mothers need to be realistic about what they want as far as partnership is concerned, because you may not qualify for the men that you want. There will be men who don't want to sign up to be a stepfather. There will be men who disqualify you because you have children, and that's okay. I think the problem is that within this demographic, it's as though there's a scarcity mindset. And there's this idea that you need more than one person to be interested in you. So, I mean, unless you're into polygamy, you only need one person to be interested in you. You only need that one person.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking, again, when we say qualify, because that's putting men way above women right there. But like I said, I've, with where I am now, I don't see it,
No. It's not,
I just, I think this is okay.
Melinda, let's be real. Men are the ones who control marriage, are they not? Men control marriage, women don't.
Yeah, that's true. I think that, you can be specific and just say, hey, like let's say if you're maybe a dating site. That's how I met my current boo, a dating site. I think, but if you choose men who already have kids, they may be fine with that. But I think that the stigma, hopefully it'll go away. But I would look at it as just a preference, not that you don't qualify to be with that guy. It's just hey, he might be like, look, I just don't want kids. I wasn't good with kids and stuff like that. And not that you're not good enough, because the woman might be awesome, but maybe he just does not like kids. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, it's not a value system. We're putting it up. I didn't say you did that, but I think this community puts a value system on a woman because she has a child. It's like that's a failure or something.
Can you mute for a second, because it echoes when you. Okay. Yeah, no. And that I want to be crystal clear. There is no value system as it pertains to a woman with children. She should never see herself in terms of being unvalued because she's birthed a child. That's insane. That's again this rhetoric that these men like to put out, and they want to but the only reason they want to devalue these women is for access. It has nothing to do with them caring about a community. We've already discussed that. We've already heard Obsidian say he gives a crap less about the community. Men who say that these men aren't going after being big brothers to other men's children, and I'm not saying taking care of them, but being a role model or a big brother to them. These men don't care about the community the way that they say that they do. Everything that they're about is selfishness. It's for self-gain. It has absolutely nothing to do with building anything. And so women shouldn't be devalued because they've made decisions in life. And I'm not even going to say a bad decision, because whatever, I don't care what anybody thinks. Some children, whether they were wanted, most children, all children, whether they're wanted or not, are a blessing to somebody. And so they made decisions that may put them in a different position in life. But the problem is when you have a woman that's making these decisions continuously, and she's not able to care for herself or her children. And one thing I want to debunk, because we have a lot of men who believe that there's so many Black women on welfare, like all single mothers are on welfare. And the fact of the matter is, I think 37% of the Black demographic is on welfare. 37%. Half of that is Black men. So this stigma that all single mothers are on welfare is insane. And I don't understand why anybody would want to cut programs that feed children. And I'm seeing that in the chat. So they want these things to end only so they can have access to women. And the crazy part is they can't even afford to feed the children if they got involved with a woman. See, it's all about sex with these types of men.
Yeah, for access and abuse, because that's what it would be, to abuse someone financially, because that's what they would be doing, dangling stuff for them. Was that the end of Kendra's video?
No, we switched over. So he's
okay. He has to pack up the stuff and bring it back. Yeah.
No, sir. Single 4% of Black men are not in the middle class and higher. That's a whole lie. I don't know where you got that lie from, but you can take it back to the pits of hell where it belongs, because the average income for a Black man in his lifetime is $43K. So that's in his lifetime. So Black men, 64% of Black men are not single and in middle class, because over 20% of Black men are in prison.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Man, I mean,
yeah,
I don't even think.
How do you come to that lie? How do you come to that conclusion? And this is the thing. So he's saying 43K is middle class, but let me say this: 43K is the lowest of the middle class. And you want to know why that number is included in the middle class? It's so that they can deny people benefits. It's so that they can deny. They lowered it. The cap for middle class is like 160K, I think, or between 140 and 160K. So how do you think that you're in middle class from 43K when the max is between 150 and 140 and 150? Like, what sense does that even make for you to be bragging about that? You see what I'm saying? 43K can't even take care of a family.
But think about it, Jim. I mean, most people don't make six figures, and and they get married, and and they live a good life in spite of
Right,
making average money. So
right.
it just depends on the type of lifestyle, or it basically depends on how willing people, both men and women, are to stick together and make it work, and weather those storms. I
Right.
mean,
And
I
like,
think that's like the key to any successful long-term partnership or marriage.
right. And I'm gonna read some of these comments. King Lucifer said 43K isn't middle class, dude. Laugh out loud, especially during the time of inflation. Tiff said 43K cannot support a family. Lily Lotus said it's upper lower class. Lady M said 43K is the middle class for one person. And Wu said 43K is poverty. Laugh out loud. So these men want to brag about something that's not even like nobody in society. If you came out and juxtaposed yourself against any other demographic in society, they would laugh in your face. Welcome, Urbanista.
Hey, sorry, I'm back.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Urbanista, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm just catching up in the background.
Gotcha. Happy life. What are your thoughts?
What about
Let me go ahead and play this video. Hold on one second.
what about
Hold on one second. The hell is going on here? Why do I have an
You get
echo?
that together. Exactly, Tiff. This is the same 43K that they think we're trying to steal from them via marriage. Like, please stop. Please stop. And I love that they always juxtapose themselves against women, and they always talk about our degrees. And anybody with a modicum of understanding of how economics works understands that. Can y'all go on mute? There's an echo. Anybody with a modicum understanding of economics understands that that 43K is gone. Like we're nowhere with 43K, and you really don't have anything. And I was on a panel, my first panel that I got on, and we were discussing this and the wage gap between women and men. And I was asked the question, if I made a certain amount, the guy wanted to know if I would accept someone making half of what I made. And I said, no. Why would I do that? I'm able to afford myself a specific lifestyle. Why would I accept someone that's making half of what I make? Especially since the person said that they were comfortable with the job that they had. They had no intentions on changing that job. So there was no upward mobility. Why would I be with someone who's stagnant when my goal is to go further up in the socioeconomic ladder? And so they want you to condescend. They want you to be complacent right along with them and keep being at the bottom of society. And that's not what Black women want. It takes time for that degree to pay off, especially when you have a large percentage of people who don't really know how to use their degrees, no matter what it is. But it will pan out. It will eventually pan out. Women will eventually, Black women will eventually, if not already, be their income will exceed that of Black men, just like the degrees have exceeded that of Black men. It's going to happen. And so who's going to be left out in the cold are these disgruntled Black men.
You made a really good point that I never thought about. Do you think a lot of the men are saying negative things about degrees because they don't want to get outpaced?
Of course, because they know that that's inevitable. Like, your degree is going to pay. The thing about it is, and I wish that we could do a live on this, because there's so many resources and there's so many things. And I put it in the chat when I see certain things and people asking questions about career fields and being disgruntled about having a 4-year degree that they can't use. It's because, and this is the thing that we as Black people don't do a lot, is networking. And white people do it ceaselessly. They're always networking. Other groups of people, they're networking, and we need to learn to network with one another. And this is not the subject, but yes, we're going to outpace them. We are outpacing them. And the thing about it is, black women have been loyal to them. And because they're being complacent, we can no longer be complacent right with them, because we'll stay stagnant. And that's not where we want to be. And it's asinine that these men don't find education important. And I think that they think when we say education, we're only speaking in terms of university degrees, a 4-year degree. There are so many certifications and skills training that you can get in blue collar that will give you the same ability to make 6 figures as those with 4-year degrees. So there's so many opportunities that one can get and one can use that doesn't require the same amount of time. Even if you don't want to sit in a classroom all that time, there are things you can do. Their lack of motivation and drive to upward to be in an upward trajectory is their own fault. It has nothing to do with black women. It has nothing to do with black women having children, because the thing about it is, black women are the ones that are taking care of the children. These men aren't sacrificing like black women are. I can't tell you how many black women I saw in school with me that were in university. They were single mothers that worked with me. They were single mothers of more than one child, and they were working 2 jobs and going to school. And so they were making it happen. And so there's no excuse to me. I can't excuse black men who don't want to do anything. That's insane.
Gemini, yesterday in the chat, Terrell kept putting, well, black men make more than black women. And I put, first of all, there's so many variables to that. But and I was like, why does they only care that, I think that's almost where some of them stop. They think as long as they make more than black women, but that's just like hourly. And even that depends on how long someone's been in the workforce, whether you work full-time or part-time, whether you do overtime. I guess on average, men do make more per hour, but it's like, but black women are more employed too. But I'm thinking, yeah, but white women make more than y'all. So why are you just focused on, you should be trying to compete with men, instead of sitting here, competing with black women. It's like, it's so petty. It's so petty.
Right.
Well, can I respond? Go ahead.
And you can go. Can everybody put on mute because there's an echo? Let me say this. We know that the large percentage of black men are incarcerated, right? And we know that black men are underemployed and unemployed. So when you juxtapose that, if you're really going to do the numbers and juxtapose one against the other, we know that black women are out earning black men because they're not in the workforce. That number is predicated upon those in the workforce. That number is predicated upon those who are not underemployed. So it's not even an even split with juxtaposing them together. So when people look at statistics, a lot of people don't understand how statistics how they're formulated. They don't understand sample size. They don't understand variables. They don't understand what the type of study that was made to get that. They don't understand what research went into it, what other references were made to build that construct. And so you have a bunch of them on here that always love to juxtapose themselves against black women, but they will not juxtapose themselves against Hispanic men, white men, or Asian men, because they cannot. They're always shooting low because they cannot shoot higher. So even if we grant you that we're lower than you, why is your litmus, why is your compass pointing down as opposed to pointing up? Go ahead, Hustler.
Can I go next? I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, I thought.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go ahead. Let him go. Let him go.
No, I was just asking what his name was because I thought that was Hustler.
Hammer.
Oh, Hammer.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to interrupt. So I want if I can go.
No, go for it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Let me just introduce myself quickly here. My first time being on your stream. I actually showed my recommendation, ironically. So I am a 22-year-old black male, currently majoring in computer science. And my trajectory is to be making probably 100K in the next 2 or 3 years, especially if I get into the programming industry. I'm already making over 50K now, but the reason why this topic interests me is that there are a lot of black men.
Sir, 1 second.
Yeah.
Can Can you back off your mic level just a little bit?
Oh,
You're just turning a bit. We want to make
am
sure
I
we
too?
hear.
Okay. Is it
Yeah,
better
just back it
now?
up just a touch.
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to overtalk anyone. So my mic is just a little. Sorry about that. But to continue what I was saying, ladies, there's a lot of black men out here, especially in their young ages, who are trying to achieve a lot. Who are out here in the STEM fields. Look, I understand on the group basis, it's not a lot, but there are many out here, and the way a lot of men hear this. First of all, let me just address the sort of title of the show. Right, number one, the reason why men don't typically like single mothers, right, including me per se, it's not because of the women per se. When we look at the situation, here's what we think. Number one, that kid is not biologically mine. Number two, if I get married with this girl, I have to carry the financial responsibility of that kid because she's.
Sir, I understand that point, but we already know that. We've heard Kevin Samuels for over a year. If you have anything newer than what Kevin Samuels was saying, we can go forward with that.
Okay. Yeah. I think the only thing I can add on top of that is that at the end of the day, it's not that black men are necessarily hating black women. It's just. I'm like, this is happening. This is a basic male reaction here, which is that I don't want to carry that burden. But it's funny to me, ladies, how you guys will spend talking about how much you guys are empowering yourself, black girl magic, black girl rock, all this stuff, and yet you talk about is this weird contradiction I see as a young black man, right? Where on one hand it's girl power, but on the other hand, why aren't the men building? Well, if it's girl power, then why do you care about the men building? That's a question I have.
Let me answer that question.
Wait, no, I'd like to go first, if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead, DJ.
It's all right, so go ahead.
Okay, so basically the thing is what women want to do is what women want to do. The problem is that when relationships are to be made, a woman is obviously, and it's been this way forever. It's not with this bullshit thing about hypergamy, blah blah blah, because that's been around forever. If we're talking about hypergamy, women want somebody who's doing better than they are. It's that simple. And the problem is this: men aren't. They're doing a little bit better. For example, how much are you making right now?
I'm not going to disclose my salary, but I will say that it's more than 50K.
Okay, that's all. That's fine. That's close enough for me. Basically, the bottom line is this: is that I can't think of a black woman. If she wanted to make 50K, she could make 50K. So they're not getting with the guy because of his money. That's the point they're trying to make. Secondly, it's like this: there's more to a relationship than just money. I think a male being a good guy is a good start. For example, Kevin Samuels, as much as you might love him and the other guys might love him,
I don't really like him.
Let me just finish what I was saying.
Okay, sir.
And that's why I added other guys in there. He wasn't a very cool guy to women, he just wasn't. So that means that to a woman who wants a good man, that means that he wasn't a high value man, because he wasn't. The value in a man is what a woman sees in a man. We can count money between ourselves all we want, but as far as a high value man to other people and to women, you have to agree that it has to do with how valuable that person honestly is. So, for example, if somebody wanted a stable man, they would not pick Yee, even though Yee has a lot of money, right?
You mean Ye? Is that your first, sir?
Whatever it is, name.
I'm like, Ye's married now, so he's still getting hot girls. So.
Yeah, but I guarantee you not. He's not going to settle down with them.
He just got married to a hot girl. He literally just got married.
I guarantee just because somebody gets married doesn't mean they're settled down with them. He married her because of whatever strange reason.
Yeah. He probably has like girls on the side.
Turn out the same way that it did with his other wife.
Anyways, let's let the lady speak. I want to hear from the ladies.
Wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute. Can we all do this? Because we love to juxtapose ourselves against celebrities that we have no proximity to. Can we talk about what's reality as opposed to talking about celebrities or
Well, he's the one that brought up EA, but let me
I,
respond.
I actually brought up E, and the reason why I brought it up is because he would be seen to be a high value man, but he really is no value to a woman who wants a sane man.
I get
I,
that.
I never call myself a high value man.
Wait,
I wasn't talking about you.
My God, can people just go on mute and take a turn? What I'm saying is,
no. He wants to know the woman's point of view, and we should do that.
That's fine, DJ. I just want to clarify some things. The reason I said that is because we do that often. I know it was you, but we do that often, and it's not our reality. And so I would love to stay within our reality because it skews the whole perspective when we do that.
Okay. So let me ask the ladies a question here, right? Because this is what I'm talking about. From my point of view, and this is from what the guys can see us too, right? Now, you guys may not like it, but this is what the average guy sees, especially in the early 20s, right? We see this weird dynamic where, on one hand, you want to outpace the male, you want to do better than the male, so we need to throw the patriarchy away. But then when you actually start making more, then all of a sudden they become dusty.
Wait,
and that's
please, may I?
No,
please.
wait. I just want to make sure I'm getting his point. I just want to make sure we clarify.
That's what guys see.
Okay, I want to make sure we clarify his point so that we can understand and we're not misunderstanding what he said. So you're saying that black women want to outpace black men?
It's not just black women. It's really all women at this point, right? From all races, but women in general, especially in the post-industrial West. They have this dynamic where they will spend 24/7 talking about not even black, but women empowerment, right? We need to make more than men.
Let me say this before you go on.
Okay.
Because this is a predominantly black platform, let's just stick with black.
Okay. Well, black women too, right? So black women, right? They will, like all the other women, right? The reason why I do it because I feel like a lot of black men.
No. I don't want you to go forward. I just want to stick with the point that you made earlier.
Okay, fine, yeah. So the point I was making is that for a lot of men, especially black men, right? What we hear essentially from the female counterpart is we are better than you, right? We want to make more money than you, right? We want to tear the patriarchy. We want to build the matriarchy. But then when they make more money, then they do become dusty. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what you're saying is you believe that according to you, most black men believe that black women want to outpace them. They want to out-earn them.
Yeah.
And then they want to look down on them as dusties if they're not living up to what black
you
women
want this. Okay, I'm not saying we off. I'm saying that how guys perceive it. The way dudes perceive it from their perspective, right, is that women, really since the whole feminist movement, right, have been on this campaign of we need to do better than men collectively. And
I need to interject for a minute. I need to interject.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Where do you hear that from? What woman's movement did you hear that from?
I'm like, dude, isn't the whole point of feminism, right?
Stop. You didn't name a woman's group, but I know what you're telling me. You probably heard.
Okay, radical feminists, intersectional feminists, those who put gender identity.
You're not answering my question. I'm asking a specific source because what I'm thinking right now, since I've been around the manosphere for a while, it sounds like manosphere speak to me. And I need you to bring us a specific woman site that is a black woman site, since we're dealing with black women, that you got this information from. A specific site, not from somebody else's brother's cousin's website.
Right here is where I want to defer to the person that I love to hear talk about subjects. JP, can you talk about feminism and the movements, please?
Feminism? I mean, what's there to talk about? Let me see. Women just want to be free. Women want to, women just want to, be entitled to their same God-given human rights that they were previously denied in times past due to violent suppression by governments and guys and stuff, but which I'm all for, what they call classical feminism and stuff, even though, just like with most movements, there's always a probability of, corrupt intentioned people, infiltrating it and then, taking it into a different direction than it was originally intended. So, I mean, that's just any movement. You always got to be on the lookout and, make the distinction between, the pure-hearted and the fraudulent and stuff. So,
Okay.
feminism, I mean.
Okay, Melinda, go ahead and say what you want to say, Melinda.
Yeah, okay. As far as the patriarchy, you don't have a patriarchy, sir. So you'd be under the same patriarchy everyone else is under. And the fact that you think that women are threatening it further lets me know that you're not a part of that patriarchy. You're actually underneath it too. And we don't care. No, we're not. First of all, Black women continue to have high standards, continue to outpace everyone. You are brilliant. Do it. They're not worried about white women already being above them and every other person. They're just concerned about you, passing them up. And I think that's already past tense. That's past tense. We've already passed you up. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about what a woman needs to do in order for you to take care of what you need to take care of. No one's competing with you. I think that's more projection. And what Black men think about this, yes, no one else is concerned about what you think because you're running nothing, right? So we have to look at the people who we have to care about what they think are the people who do the hiring, the people who do who we can be a part of their networks and be able to move about it in the positions that we're looking for. So what you think, it really doesn't matter. And that's not our fault.
Hey, I have something to say real quick.
One moment. Let him speak, but please, if you're going to make an example, we don't really deal with hearsay that much anymore. So if you want to prove your point, you have to point it to something that's either in writing or factual. Let's try that. Let Hammer speak.
Okay. Well, don't worry. I can definitely after the stream. I'm going to gather all the documents of it. But it's like, so now we're just gonna be delusional and pretend as if women have not been pushing to break the quote unquote pay gap for the past decades, right? So that's not what's been happening. It's literally all over.
Trying to break that.
So you're not trying to break a pay gap. So ladies, that's not what's trying to happen, right?
No. Everybody stop.
Why is he always into the ladies, bro? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. I want to answer your question for you. Everybody's trying to break everybody's pay gap. Black men were trying to get white men's money. White men, they're trying to get Asian men's money. Asian men's trying to get rich man's money. Do you see the point?
I'm talking about the gender pay gap, not the racial.
What is different?
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm not talking about the racial pay gap between blacks and I'm talking about the gender pay gap. Okay.
Let me ask you a question, sir. So, do
Yes,
you
sir.
think that if we have the exact same experience, right?
Well,
we have
not
the exact
entirely.
same background. Hold on. We have the exact same experience. We have the exact same background, right? We bring the exact same thing to the table. We have the exact same work effort. Do you not think that people should not get paid the same amount for the work?
Well, once again, it depends on what field you're in. I mean, if you, I'm giving example.
Well,
I work
okay,
in the IT
you
field,
said
right?
you said
I
okay. I work in
I'm
IT
gonna give an
too,
example.
sir. So I actually work in IT. And I've been in IT for several years. Okay, so I'm a seasoned professional in IT. So what I will say is, if I have someone who's a software engineer who's coming on to my team, right? And one's a male, one's a female. They have the exact same background, right? The exact same amount of experience, right? They're bringing the exact same work effort to the table and they have the exact same title. They should not be getting paid the same amount.
Well, I'm like, if what they should be getting paid what's agreed
Sir,
upon.
that's a yes or no. That's a yes or no.
Yes, if they both put an equal amount, they should get paid amount. But once again, right, the issue.
Okay, so
let me finish my
this
response.
is what we're talking about.
Okay, let me respond. Right, the issue why I'm so hesitant when it comes to the gender pay gap is because I know the duplicitous nature a lot of you ladies have, right? On one hand, you want to make equal, if not more than a man, but on the other hand, as soon as you start making more than him, he becomes dusty. So this is the
Sir,
contradiction that I'm
No,
trying to deal with.
no.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. Let me say this. You're
So would you
projecting.
deal with a man who makes less money than you?
I'm speaking. What you're doing is you're projecting a conversation or an idea that you're receiving from somewhere else, and you're not asking us in good faith a question. You're posing what you believe that our ideology is. If you'd like to pose a question to us personally without projecting someone else's ideology, that would be awesome.
I don't know you guys personally, but I do know that when you look right, on the scale, on the sort of the macro level, what we see across all sites, across women's behavior, women typically want to be with a man who either makes equal to them or more. As soon as he starts making less, he becomes dusty. Let's be honest here.
That's not true at all.
That is your
That's not
opinion.
true at all.
That's not
not true at
necessarily
all.
Okay, so
true.
ladies, let me
What-
ask you a question. Would you get married with a guy who makes 40? I'm not sure. Would you get with a guy who makes no money? Let's start with that.
No, they wouldn't. I'll tell you why.
Look,
I'm
But
gonna say,
hold up. Didn't
No,
they
I'll
just
tell
say
you
that
why.
it wasn't a problem, right? You said it was a problem.
Can I say something, please?
Would you be okay with a guy?
Can I say something, please?
or not?
there's a lot more.
Can I speak, please?
Go ahead, DJ.
Jesus Christ. Bro, hammer. The thing is this. If a man falls off, it doesn't make him dusty. No one's.
I did not say it fall.
No, the fact that you're using the word dusty is inaccurate. But there's two things that are true here. One, a woman generally does not want a man who makes less than her. If a man starts to make less than her, which it seems like you're saying that for some reason, maybe he lost his job, maybe he had to take a pay cut, whatever, more than likely, they're not going to call him dusty because they understand his specific issue. But no, if a man, for you to say that a woman should take a man if he makes less just because he's a man is not going to happen because there's some reason why he makes less than her.
Let me say this. It's not even.
Can I respond since you want to drop me off?
When you talk about the.
Thank you for proving I was right.
When you talk about the pay gap, they're acting as if a woman is looking for someone who makes exactly the same dollar amount, and that's just not so. A lot of women are taking men that make significantly lower than what they make. The problem that
That's a minority.
The problem, sir, if you're going to interrupt me, you're getting put in the bag. Do you understand? The problem that black women are having is they're outpacing men. Let's just be realistic. The marriage rate is what percent? It's 30-something% in the black community amongst black people. And for the most part, black people are marrying other black people. Given that, we're talking about single people being together, black men and black women being together. So therefore, you have a demographic that is not making the same amount of money. Women still outnumber men by 1 million. Black women outnumber black men by 1 million. So a black woman can't afford to sit around and wait and not look for upward mobility while she wait for this magical, mystical unicorn of a man that wants to wipe her up. So it's not a matter of making more than a man. It's a matter of making money to have a lifestyle that affords you to be able to do the things that you want to do. At the end of the day, we don't juxtapose ourselves. For the most part, I'm saying the people over here in my tribe, because I can't speak for anybody else. In our tribe here, it's not about making more than black men. It's about making a lifestyle where you have something for retirement, where you have something for savings, where you have something stored up for your children so that you're not destitute. Let's not pretend that it's not a recession going on. Let's not pretend like that there aren't things going on in society that we don't need to be prepared for. So that's what we do over here in my tribe. We're not concerned about what Black men are or aren't doing as far as those in proximity to us. Those are the ones that we're concerned about, not some random dude that's making less than what we make.
Gemini,
Okay,
he said that they
can I
don't want
respond?
women with children. He can make that demand, but then demand that someone lower their standards. Black women don't lower your standards. So you have standards. We
That's not
don't
what I
have to
said.
lower ours. Level up.
Okay, that's not. And
Well,
by
I
the way,
think
brother,
I
you
think
were
the other
asking
thing
me.
too is these.
Can I respond? Okay. Brother, you were asking me
Yeah,
for that.
Alina,
I
I
have it
was
right
just gonna
here.
say.
I put it in the back chat. You can show it, share on the screen. This is from Pew Research, right? That was done. University of Chicago, right? And I put in the batch. You can show it, brother, if you want to. Since you want to bring the stats, but fine. It shows that divorce
Wait,
rates
let me
go
ask
about.
you this before. Let me ask you this before. Is this based on Chicago alone, or is this a universal study?
This it's from the entire country, right? It came out of that university and it came out of Pew Research Center, but it's for the entire country. And
Okay.
essentially what it talks about is that when, first of all, most women, I think, they marry men who have less education than them on average, because let's be honest, ladies, right? When you go to most college campuses, over 60% is female. Even where I'm at, it's mostly women, right? So when a woman gets married, most of the time she has more educational background than her male counterpart. And it shows here that as
Wait a
soon as
minute.
she
Wait a
starts,
minute. Wait a minute. I just want to qualify. You mean in the Black community, or you mean every demographic?
well, what it says here is in regards to like they're putting everything into one, so it's not specifying which racial group.
Okay, and
Okay.
again, when I asked you to bring information, I'm specifically talking about, this is a disingenuous thing that I'm talking about. We can't bring studies that don't focus on solely on us. So
Yeah,
you're
but
bringing,
my
no
point
sir, no
was
sir,
not about
no
black
sir,
women. It was
no
about the
sir,
group,
no sir,
right?
no sir. Again, when we bring information over here, we're not talking about the whole of the country. It's so funny that they want to bring information that focuses on the whole of the country, but they don't juxtapose themselves against the whole of every man. You see what I'm saying? How disingenuous is that? You want to bring a study that talks about every nationality and then say, well, it talks about this. But when we talk about these things, you don't want to juxtapose yourself against white men, Asian men, or Hispanic men. You always want to juxtapose yourselves against Black women. Black women aren't competing with Black men, and I really just it burns me that Black men think this. And again, I say this because they can only see out of their own perspective. It's projection. They juxtapose themselves against us. We don't have to juxtapose ourselves against them. What they're hearing from us is a defense because they're always comparing themselves to women. We juxtapose ourselves against ourselves. We want better for ourselves. We want better for our children. And so it has nothing to do with trying to outpace Black men. The numbers are what they are. We're doing this despite of you, not because of you. We don't have a choice. This is what we're doing because we have to, if we want to have success in society, if we want to feed our families in society, if we want to have any stability, any luxury, we have to. It's not a matter of we're doing this because men, we're trying to be against men. We're trying to outpace Black men. And it's another idea that when we do succeed and when we do propel, for some reason they think that we're taking something away from them. How can we take something away from you that you don't have?
All right, I'd like to get
Yeah.
some shout outs out of the way real quick. Okay, shout out to SO Hopeful in the house. Lily Lotus is in the house. Tomas is in the house. Kelly is in the house. Diamond Princess is in the house. We got Creative Solutions in the house. The Urbanista is in the house. Monica is in the house. Siobhan is in the house. We have, I think we have a few more. I want to say Hustle Muscular is still in the house, I believe. Marty is in the house. Leia is in the house. All right. I think Maya is in the house. Melinda is in the house. LaQuinta Fox is in the house. Boomer Sooner is in the house. All right. I'll catch everybody else on the next shout out. All right. Let's keep it going.
Hey, Torch, I wanted to respond to him.
One thing that he made a point, that he said that Black women were looking for men that made more than them. And I just want to be clear on that, because I'm tired of that talking point, because that's not realistic for the Black community. And I understand that he pulls some stats that are universal to people across multiple communities, but that doesn't really apply. And that's not what's happening in the Black community. Um, a lot of Black women are actually marrying men that make less than them. When you're in a long term marriage, there will be different points in your marriage where one person may make more, the other person may make less, right? It just depends, going back to Gemini's point around who is getting opportunities, what field you're in. There's a lot of factors that come to play with that. So these generalizations that I keep hearing coming from the manosphere and coming from young men like this young man, I think that you need to start looking at things from a case by case perspective, instead of focusing on these generalizations, because they aren't necessarily true.
Can I respond now, or you guys think you dropped me?
You can
Okay,
respond.
okay, thank you. Like I was saying before, right? What my original point, right, is fundamentally that the way the young male most now look, let me just say this, right? I'm not even part of the manosphere anymore, right? I'm like, was I there a little bit? Yeah, but I don't really support the Pastor Bros because I feel like that destroys Black men's image on the global stage. I feel like the manosphere has become a little too extreme. It's because they've gone to a point where they will essentially talk about the problems of Black women but ignore the problems of non-Black women, which I call a lot, right? But at the same time, there is some truth to the fact that from the average perspective, the average young male, we see a contradiction from Black women, right? Everyone, but for Black women especially. You want to be, quote unquote, Black women rock. We need to surpass the man. We need to tear down the patriarchy and stop being these are the rhetoric. But then as soon as you actually make...
I need you to
the problem we're having, let me clear this up. The problem we're having is you're taking an opinion that has been made not here or anywhere that we know of. If you have
so do the ladies in the panel support patriarchy?
What we're saying is this.
Okay.
You're not being genuine. You're taking that information you got from somewhere else. It's not information that you got from somewhere else.
Okay, let's ask on the panel, since folks want to be disingenuous. Does any lady on the panel believe in patriarchy?
I support a limited patriarchy. I sure do.
You do? Okay, what about your ladies?
That doesn't have anything to do with...
It matters, because now we're going to pretend as if women did not spend the past 50 years trying to dismantle patriarchy. Come on, man.
I'm not gonna argue about that.
Okay, wait. Let me ask some questions real
quick.
quick.
Exactly. You guys don't believe in patriarchy. So let's be honest here.
We don't believe in subserviency. We don't believe in not having a right to have autonomy to our own bodies. We don't believe in having a right to have a man just snatch us off the street and say, you're going to be my property. We don't believe in the fact that that we can't go to school and we can't make something of ourselves, especially as a Black woman, when Black men aren't marrying Black women in mass. So of course we can't have a patriarchy as society.
Okay, so in other words, you don't believe in patriarchy.
I do believe in a limited patriarchy. You can't tell me what I don't.
Okay, a limited patriarchy, bro. But let the lady speak. Let me ask you.
Wait, no, sir. The problem we're having is this, and I'm going to let you know. You can stay or you can go. You're not being genuine with your statements. What we asked at the very beginning was that you not take somebody else's hearsay in our room. Now, if you need time to come up with the data that you're trying to make these statements about, we will give you that time. You can take your time and do that. But about who, you're making too many assumptions and we can't follow you. You're making way too many assumptions. So when you say something and we disagree, then follow it up with some sort of a article, video, document, book, so we can look it up. But we're not going to go, you're asking us to make an argument on very weak hearsay. And we don't want to do that, because then it turns out to be a room it turns out to be a red pill room. And we don't want that. We want facts. We understand your point of view, but don't try to argue back and forth. If somebody tells you they're about partial patriarchy or whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. You can't tell somebody who they're not. Okay. Secondly, you have to explain what you believe. Let's start with this. Let's start with your definition, simple definition of patriarchy, your own, not some other person's, what you think it is. And then we'll go from there. Let's take it step by step. And then we'll peel this onion slowly and surely. We'll get it going. Let's do it right now. Patriarchy, what does it mean to you? What is it to you?
Okay, sir, once again, I asked the ladies directly, right, what their opinion was.
I asked you to give me a statement about what patriarchy is. I told you we're going to take it slow. What did you do? You went to some complaint about what you asked the ladies. I want you to tell me what it is. If you think you said it, I want you to say it again.
You want me to answer what patriarchy is?
Right.
Yeah, patriarchy is a system, right, in which men reign supreme legally, socially, economically, in all aspect areas. Essentially.
So
that's what it is in its basic form. So anything that limits that is not a patriarchy.
So do you want patriarchy to stay? Yes or no?
I'm like, we don't even really live in the patriarchy anymore, to be honest with you. I'm like,
no, well, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that, bro.
Oh my God. Do I believe?
God. You know
do you want it to stay? Yes or no?
DJ, I can't take these disingenuous people who come up here and they want to have cyclical arguments, and then they're not even talking to you in good faith. This dude just said we don't really live in a patriarchy. So why are you asking about patriarchy?
Bro, look, I just brought up patriarchy and it doesn't say what you said. Where did you get your statement from?
Bruh, what does it...
I'm saying that I don't believe you. Where did you get your statement from?
Bruh, what I said...
Statement from? Where did you get it? Just answer that question. Just
answer that question. Oh my God. Okay.
Can you answer the question? Where did you get your statement from?
My statement, I got it. Bro, what I said was based on facts.
No. You're almost there. You were almost there. Where did you get your statement from?
I got it from research.
Where?
I'm like, you want me to say like right now?
Research doesn't mean anything to me. Give me a location, a book, a statement, where? Because this is what I brought up.
Okay. Read what it says then. Because I'm pretty sure, because what it says right now is exactly what I said, right?
Sir, it doesn't say anything about the male running, what you were saying, anything. It has nothing to do with that. Why do you think I'm asking you? It doesn't say what you said. It does not say what you said.
DJ, actually, it does say what he said.
Really? So it says a system of society in which the father or eldest male. Now, what did I say? A system in which the men, right, runs the system, primarily the system where the men have economic, social, political power, government, society, right, even lineage is economics. It literally just says that. But see, look, brother, I get it, right? Your entire channel is pandering to the female.
To patriarchy here, it does not apply though.
That'll get you off right there. It's talking shit, bro. Now you want to clean it up, or do you want to continue to talk shit? I'll give you both options right now.
First of all, he said that we don't live in a
wow. Okay.
So I really don't understand why we're having this discussion at all. I really don't.
We are, because he wanted to derail the whole conversation. That's literally what he just did.
No,
I have a conversation.
You brought up patriarchy, not us.
He can't.
You brought it up.
This is his channel.
Okay, so let me just say this and I can go, because it's crazy because I have my own channel and I
did that for fun.
I didn't do that either. I didn't do that. So he must have done it himself.
No, I did it.
Oh.
I did it. No, I did it for me because I really, quite honestly, I think he came in here to advertise his channel.
Oh, okay.
And say his job.
Wait.
But
Can I
this is
chime in
how
real
this,
quick? Oh, my
go
bad.
ahead.
Sure
Go
can,
ahead, Jim.
JP.
No,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
JP.
Okay, I kind of tuned the guy out a little bit. What was his whole point in a nutshell? Because I
There
was,
wasn't one.
He didn't
oh,
have a point. He just
No.
wanted to come here and fight.
Wait, I'll be
Yeah.
genuine. He seemed to believe that Black women are competing with Black men for a place in society, that we won't accept anyone that makes lower income. And if we get with someone and we're making the same income and their income for some reason decreases and is not the same as ours, we're getting rid of them. That was his whole ideology in a nutshell.
I mean, like, isn't the income up to like the business owners and the people who sign the payroll and negotiations and all that stuff? I mean, it depends
Yes,
on.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
But
absolutely. It depends
this
on the
is the
market. It depends on a whole lot.
right, and this is a problem I have with that argument, is that it's not being done genuinely, just as a lot of stuff isn't being done genuinely in the manosphere. Because again, I'll keep saying it, only 30% of us are married. 30,
Well,
maybe like 33% of us are married. And so when we have these conversations, we're not even talking about couples that are married or couples that are getting ready to be married, because they're not doing it in mass. And so when we have these conversations, it's not in good faith to say something of something like that. And it's not that, it's not that Black women find themselves wanting to outpace Black men because of some type of rivalry. It's more so to do with survival. If the maximum lifetime earnings of a Black man is $43K, what other choice do we have? Even if we accept that, what other choice do we have but to keep excelling ourselves, and so that our families won't be destitute in the case of a pandemic, in the case of an endemic, in case of inflation, in case of recession? We can't sit by idly and just wait and make minimum so that our Black men can outpace us, so that they can feel good about themselves.
Right.
oh,
But
okay.
can I ask a question though?
Sure can.
Isn't patriarchy a form of hierarchy, which is a form of royalty, which is a higher rank, which is a form
Yeah.
of a legacy, which is a form of a bloodline? So why are they having these conversations when you don't even fit the criteria
Exactly.
for any of that?
Because
Right.
they
Yes.
want to put themselves in proximity to whiteness that they have no hold on. They don't even belong to it. That's why they grabbed a hold to the white man manosphere, to the white man red pill. Everything that they've grabbed a hold to is whiteness. And now they want to go sit, and I fully support them doing this. They want to go sit overseas under somebody else's patriarchy. If that's what you want to do, please, by all means, go do it so women can rest.
Amber, thank you for your time on the panel. Okay, so creative has shown up. Siobhan is here. Melinda is here. Creative, did you have any thoughts?
I didn't know what was he saying. Like, obviously he didn't make any sense. And we was trying to hear him out, but yeah, he didn't make any sense. But I came up here because you guys put on Single Moms Part 2 debate.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So I'll be in the chat. Well, I'll be here.
Right on. I'm glad you're here, creative.
And
Hey, wait a minute, DJ. Oh, my bad, Jim. But DJ, what was that weird noise dude was making? I mean, y'all was conversing, then out of nowhere, I hear I don't know if it sounded like some Native American call sound or some shit.
Oh, I heard some weird stuff. He might have been, some of these people that come up here and they're trying to get footage for their own shows and shit, and that's probably what he was doing. He was probably trying to do some kind of a little roast to what he was talking about. What they do is they clip it up and put it in and all that kind of stuff. So,
if men would like to come up here and have a genuine conversation, they don't want to have a genuine conversation. All they want to do is have a shouting match with Black women and be in proximity to Black women that don't even fit this ideology that they're spewing. If people here keep saying that's not what we're saying, that's not what we're thinking, and they incessantly, that's that oppositional conversation style. They incessantly and ceaselessly tell you, no, but you guys, and if I tell you that's not what we do here, that's not our tribe, and you keep saying that, you're not having a good faith conversation, and it's no need to even talk to you. And a lot of times I slow conversations down and I try to get what the person is saying so that we don't misinterpret. And people could see it as what do they call me? What they call me, DJ? What's my
what does he call you?
A tyrant.
A tyrant.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. If they want to see me as a tyrant because of that, I'm cool with that, because my real job is to listen and to be able to understand what a person is saying and where they're coming from. And to do that, especially when the room is in almost exploding, the conversation needs to be slowed down so that we don't misinterpret what someone says. So we need to have conversations in good faith, and everybody needs to be heard, and everybody needs to be heard from their own perspective without having something projected onto them that they didn't say.
Okay. I need to kick out some shout outs, and then we'll let, if I believe Siobhan was the latest to the group. So if she wants to say something after my shout outs, she goes on. And then I guess Hammer is going to be the new Cupcake until Cupcake gets here. So hold on one moment. I need to shout out to Ben Perith, Boomer Sooner. The truth is still here. A lady is here. Big Cap is here. We have Andre in the house. Who else? I know I missed somebody. Tiff is in the house. Urbanista in the house. Leia in the house. I think I got everybody. Okay. So, Siobhan, do you have anything you would like to comment about or ask Hammer or anything?
No, oh, he's still here because I wanted to go
back.
Oh, okay. No, I wanted to go back to the reference to the definition of patriarchy.
Sounds good.
Can you pull that back up, or is that going to be inconvenient?
Oh, not a bit.
Okay. Because what I wanted to show is, I know that, when you're writing, of course, you have to look up the appropriate definition for the sentence structure in which you're trying to, put together per meaning. But you still have to, when you're looking up a defining term, you still want to look up its entirety. So you don't want to look just at the first bullet point. You want to look at all of them. So if you look down at that third bullet point that says it's a society or community organized on patriarchal lines. So what it is those lines are like veins running through the blood. That means that it would take a group of these so-called patriarchal figures to form a community which protects the community of said women, children. Then it goes down to families and significant others. So this is a body. The patriarchal society is a body. Patriarchy has nothing to do with these men individualizing themselves as if there's some pseudo king in a household. This is about a group of powerful men coming together. So once again, these guys have no talking points because you have to build that body first. And then you have to be accepted within these realms, and then you have to build the society.
And to your point, Siobhan, it amazes me that they always have these arguments about these systems that that men created, and they have a problem with family court, which men created. They have a problem with the welfare system, which men created. They have a problem with child support, which men created. So it's funny to me that they will come against women to have women change a system that men created.
Only to continue to complain about it either way.
Right.
Okay, so my goal is to get off of patriarchy altogether. So, Siobhan,
let's get back to old Kendra G's old fan name.
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted the reason why I brought that up.
No. I wanted to hear what you said because it was perfect. It's just, I know what I'm doing. I'm really talking to Hammer because I really want to move the show forward. He said what he said about patriarchy, and you replied nicely. So I want to focus on what this person has to say specifically as it pertains to single mothers. because that's what this show is about. I'll play a little bit of this and then everyone can comment.
Well, I had her when I was young, and I mean, things didn't work out.
So what are you gonna do for him in return?
Oh, for the guy's gonna pay my bills
And take care of you and your child. But it's,
I'm gonna make his life happier. I'm a joyful person. I like to laugh, and like I don't know. I just make his life easier.
you like to laugh. You're
older.
gonna be a comedian for him.
No, but I'm gonna be someone like to make his life less stressful.
How? He's paying all the bills to take care of you and your child. How are you making his life less stressful?
By doing what he wants me to do.
So whatever he wants you to do, you'll do?
Yeah.
3 times, you're down.
Yep.
Clean the house up, you're down.
Yes.
Have sex with his friends, you're down.
No.
You just said you're gonna do whatever he wants you to do.
I mean, within reason. I'm pretty sure he won't ask me anything
What you
out of
mean?
the norm, but
I know plenty of men who be asking, I don't know what world y'all be living in, la la land, but it's real out here in these streets. When you come in saying you're gonna do whatever he wants you to do, as long as you pay your bills and take care of your child, you don't know what you're saying.
You're right. I agree.
So why does he have to take care? You don't want to work anymore?
No, I don't want to work. I just feel like the type of woman I am. I'm beautiful. I can cook. I can clean. I got my own cleaning business. I'm working on getting my culinary license and all the above. I mean, I know it takes more than cooking and cleaning to be a good woman, but I just feel like I'm housewife material. I don't feel like I'm one of the women that should work a 9 to 5 or come home and cook, from work. I want to be at home all the time. I want to be taken care of. I want to be pampered and all the above.
Can you pause it, DJ?
Other women?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, as long as I know.
One thing I will say is I don't think she knows what she wants, because she talked about having her own cleaning business and going to culinary school. So you're wanting to work outside. I think what she's saying is she want to work on her own terms. I don't, or she doesn't understand. I'm not sure.
Now wait a minute, Gemini. I mean, private chefs make pretty good money, especially if they're good and
I'm
stuff.
not
But
saying that's not what I'm saying, JP. I'm
oh,
saying
okay.
she in one breath said she didn't want to work. She wanted a man to take care of her, and then she came back and said that she owns her own cleaning business and she's getting certifications for culinary arts. So, are you going to use those things out? It sounds like she's going to want to use those things outside the home. So I don't think that what she's asking for is to be a stay-at-home mom. I think she wants to be a stay-at-home mom on her own terms while working on her own things.
I don't know. You can probably be a YouTube chef, but that's a very, very hard sector to break into as far as like making it big and stuff. Especially like getting it up to the point where you can start to make a living exclusively off of, making cooking videos on YouTube.
No, you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my opinion is I agree with Gemini on this. I don't think she knows what she wants. I think she's too young. I think she got locked.
Right.
I think she got locked up in an age, just like I've accused men of getting locked up in an age and looping. And what I mean is that they might be 24, but they don't behave like they're 24. Like this young lady here acts like she could be 14 or 15 easy. And just so happens to have had a kid, though she, at 19.
So you're saying she's developmentally challenged, basically. Or like arrested development.
I won't say developmentally because who knows? She might have been a A student for all we know. What I do know is that she's not showing any viable positive traits for a man to engage with. You see what I'm saying? So she doesn't want to work, but she wants to do her own thing. And like Gemini said, I have to agree with what Gemini said. In this particular case right here, she needs to find out. She needs to find herself first. I can understand why she wants, a man to take, a man to pay for her because she feels like she wants a man to pay to feel for her. But I don't see. She said she's not willing to work for her man. That's what she basically said. So
I got bad news.
Can I say something to that? I disagree with both of you guys. because but just hear
Can
me
I
out.
respond?
No, can I? I'm still
Ain't gonna be
talking.
going
Yeah,
one
let
at a time.
Go ahead.
creative gets to speak. Let creative speak.
Okay, so I disagree with you guys. Is because this is just me. Because I feel like if she was any other woman, she, like she wouldn't be asking her these questions. Like, like, are you gonna go work for him? Like, no, I think if she wants to,
Exactly.
and that's what I wanted to say. I really didn't like how Kendra stated that. Like, just because you're a mom, you gotta go do all these things to have a man. You gotta juggle. I don't think she needs to do all of that. The guy has to find value in her, and it's not essentially what money she's making or things. If he just loves her for her, and she has a son, and she has those mom qualities, why not? And she says she wants to do her own thing. I mean, if the man is outside and he's working, that's a good way for her to find herself. So that's just my thoughts. I disagree. So,
But
Well,
you know what happened?
that's essentially what I was saying. She doesn't sound like she does not want to work. She just wants to work on her own terms.
But wait a minute, what happened, creative, is it's the way that she started it off. And I think I don't agree with a lot of Kendra's approach, but she kind of kicked in the door, kind of giving sugar baby vibes. And when someone says they want something, okay, now it's time to challenge them. I think, me personally, I think her problem is that she's lost in the talking points, like a lot of these people. I can already tell she's been listening to both sides, and she sounds like a gumbo pot of information from both sides right now. She's spewing soft life. She's spewing level up. She's spewing
Yes.
red pill. She's spewing
Yes.
it all. She's lost it, and she's 24. So I know she's been listening to this for a while. So she doesn't even know where she begins or where she ends right now as a mom, because she's just all around. And mind you, she's around a bunch of her peers who are saying these things. So obviously she's coming to Kendra looking for a higher form of guidance. But I think she was more so intimidated because Kendra is an older woman over her. So a lot of times what happens with younger women is they want to come in with the older girls and they think they're going to say something snappy and sassy. So because they want to be down. And I think it just comes off wrong because we're older and kind of know better. And then you kind of get on her and then it's like, oh, well, that ain't really what I meant, if that makes sense.
Right. I think the thing is that I guess my point is that if I have to give, let's say, a young man who has his stuff together, has put in the work, is stable and is positive, I would not introduce her to him, because it sounds like she wants to find herself under the roof of somebody else. And that's not, just like I feel like a man shouldn't do that. A man should be, just like I think a man should have a certain level of stability in his life to have a woman in his life. I feel the same way about a woman. A woman should have a certain level of stability. I'm not saying that she will never, ever be, she might be a Fortune 500 woman in 10 years. You never know. But I wouldn't take a risk.
okay, I have to disagree with you. I disagree. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel like she's too much of a risk. I think there are more stable women for a man, and I'm talking obviously a younger man because I'm as old as dirt. So I'm not talking about myself, but a man in his mid 30s, because remember now, she's 24, 25. And so you're thinking that most men don't start to mature for a marriage probably until 31, 32 at the very lowest. So we're looking at somebody who's 35 who's going to marry this young lady right here. I mean, she's not. The reason why I'm taking this assumption from when I was working in high schools and from high schools. She seems to have the mentality of a young lady with a kid in high school. That's what I'm saying. I think she hasn't matured enough to the point where she can really provide something for a man in his mid 35s. She's still in her mind, in my opinion, she's still 17, 16.
I agree, mentality.
Okay, I disagree. So hear me out.
Okay.
Because a lot of these young men who's out here, they kind of looking for, family. They kind of looking for some kind of stability. And she brings that, you know, because I've seen a lot of, I've seen a lot of different couples, and some of these guys who are working and they hustling, some of them feel like they want to be working for something or going home to something or feel like they're needed. So I feel like either way she can compliment somebody who's around her age. She just has to find the right person. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I do
So
think she needs to work
so
on herself.
what percentage of the excellent, by the way, that's an excellent retort, by the way, creative. But what age of a gentleman do you believe could support her and also, gain benefit from her? What
A lot. I mean, obviously somebody who's on their purpose, because she will give him that motivation, because when he comes home, he feels like he's doing something, like he feels like he's the man of the house. And so that's just me. I've seen that happen, and I've seen men who feel good about that. So
I think she'd have to go older if she wanted to quote a soft life. But yeah,
not necessarily.
well, see,
But
she does have goals. But
yeah.
I'm thinking, like Siobhan said, I think she's been inundated with all these terms, and every term you can think of, and she, said when she says soft life. I think that I would rather see this young lady go ahead and go finish culinary and finish whatever else she said she wanted to do. And then I think that she can still get that kind of guy who she can just not have to work. That it's out there. She'll have to really expand her dating options to get that. But my only caution would be, if she's going to get that, use it and be very careful, and don't give your power to, just to someone, because again, there are not a lot of men, young or old, who are willing to really be like taking care of people these days. I understand her desire for it. um I had to keep dating, and as older I got, dating 15 and 20 years older than me to get that, you know what I mean? So she's really sweet, but she's a little bit immature. But I think she just focused on her son. I think she could definitely find love, but she would have to go. I know. I don't think she should. I think she should finish her stuff up, because someone's going to take advantage of her with the way she's thinking. Because she said she'd even do threesomes and stuff just to have that kind of guy. You know what I mean? So she's already trying to compromise
She's
herself.
not. Yeah, I don't think she's in the mindset to be having a baby. I mean, not a baby, a man right now. I don't think she needs to be dating. And
But I don't think she's not good enough for a man. I think
no.
You didn't say that. No,
hold on, Melinda.
No, you didn't say.
Hold on, Melinda. We got to stop saying that too, because that's a defense mechanism to say that, so that way we can put a blanket on her when we don't even have to say one or the other. Whatever she deserves in life, that's dependent upon. So we're not saying, just because we're not saying that doesn't mean it means that. It just means we don't also in turn have to say that and try to give her this hope. I agree with, I think Urbanista said it when she was here earlier. We don't have to make everything about a woman's experience with a man as far as her wholesomeness is concerned. So I don't even think right now she's even in a position to be concerned about a man. Obviously, she's already dealt with a man. She has a 5-year-old. I think she needs to focus more on making her dreams, because right now these are dreams. They're not goals if she's not executing. So she needs to be focused more on herself and the structure that she's trying to raise her child in. And if by happenstance a suitable mate can come along, hey, good luck for her. But she don't need to be on this show right now. She is not of the mindset of a woman who is secure in a position ready to date.
Hey, you know what I think about this?
Wait. One at a time. Melinda, please, when you're not speaking, can you put on mute? Because there's an echo when you do that. I think Melinda wanted to speak, and then I think it was
me, JP.
Creative and JP.
Oh, my bad.
Creative and then JP.
Yeah, I'll pass. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here's my argument. And this is because I'm going off of experiences, you know, for me and my sister. My sister, she's like in her 21, 22, and she's dating people around her age range, and she has a son. And even though she has a son, the guys that she date, they like the fact that she has a son. They actually want to spoil him. They want to give him like all these things. And the reason why is because when they were growing up, they did not have, you know, all the things. They did not have their dad present there. So when they see these women with these kids, they're happy. They want to do all these things for these kids. So I don't necessarily, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm just think about it, right? You know, all of
I
these
don't.
homes, right?
I don't
What?
think anybody is discounting that there's a possibility. I mean, there's a
Uh-huh.
possibility for anything for everybody, but
Yeah.
realistically, when we're looking at it as a whole, we're talking about it as a whole demographic because we're talking about single mothers, and when we're talking about this, we want to be sure that we're talking about even the delusional ones.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. I understand that. So I'm just saying we just can't, you know, throw like all these guys are like that because they're not, a lot of them aren't like that. And to be honest, I think that the younger guys, they do not have as much trauma as some of the older guys. That's just my, you know, that's just my 2 cents on that. But yeah,
Yeah,
so that's all I have to
Oh,
say about it.
yeah, and let me
uh,
respond quickly before I go.
Wait, no. JP was before you.
wait a minute. I'm gonna let you talk, Cameron. I'm just gonna say something for like 2 minutes, and then
Yeah,
I'll let you
go ahead,
have
brother.
it. But
Go ahead.
no, but I mean, a lot of you are not gonna like what I'm about to say. Let me see. You know, she wants money. She doesn't want to work for real. Look at her. I mean, she's a cute girl. You know, got a nice shapely body and everything. How about, you know, she panders. She's a ripe candidate for, you know, the mammy sphere, as you all call it, right? You know, it's not much work being a mammy. I mean, the guys tell you what they want to hear. All you got to do is copy and paste. You know, you can show the body off and stuff. You know, put some cleavage on the cam and stuff, and start pandering to, you know, the manosphere and the incels and all that stuff. And before you know it, I mean, you could be making some money pretty good. You know, she can join the mammy sphere if she wants to. I mean, that's some easy money for, you know, a young lady. You know, she's in her early 20s, so she hasn't hit the wall yet. You know, yeah.
How was that helpful advice?
Yeah, so
I
let me
mean, you know, she ain't got to leave the house. You know, she ain't got to meet these guys. All she got to do is pander to them, and, you know, and have them throw cash at her.
You
yeah, I'm
got
like,
Danica Marie for that.
no, man. Look, okay. So, but both
Oh,
this is a
that's right.
problem I
She's
have,
too
right?
dark for that. I'm sorry. Got to be light
Okay.
skinned. That's right.
Let Hammer. Is that your name?
Yeah, let me just say something. I'm gonna go ahead anyway because this is the problem that I have. Because it seems like both sides are doing this, right? On one hand, you have the male side, you know, the black. I was there. They get too extreme, and now you have this side where it like the men pander to the men to a point in which when you say basic facts, they get triggered. But now it seems like in the female side, the same thing too. Basic facts get the girls triggered too.
Please
So
be
once
specific,
again,
Hammer. Be specific.
what this woman just said on the stream. I mean, the Kendra G. It's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Is this double contrarian that young dudes see? On one hand,
Let me wait, Hammer. You said Kendra. What Kendra G said?
the video that's being played right now, the woman who's you see it too, right? What she just said about
I'm
how.
just trying to see what you're saying because you said Kendra G. So what exact?
Okay, so this mom of you know who has multiple kids talk about how she
No.
wants
She only has one, but
one kid. Okay,
okay.
she talked about how, you know, she would do anything he wanted, right? And then when Kendra started asking for some things, she's just started put limitations. This represents what I'm talking about, right? Not her per se, but the mentality that we see a lot, where they will say one thing and do something completely different. They'll say it's about, you know, I just want to make equal amount of money, but when they do make the amount of money, now you become dusty. They'll say how, you know,
Sir,
I support patriarchy, but when patriarchy comes, then it's oppressive.
We're talking about the video.
We already talked about that, and I don't know why he got up here and did that again. We do not need that type of disruption, sir. We already said that we're not going to revisit those things. We're talking about the video. If you can stay on subject and speak only about the video, you can speak. Otherwise, we're not doing this. We're not going to keep doing this with you, sir.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say something, leave because it's obvious. Okay? So what this lady needs to understand, and what you listen to, is that women get hit for like the different hits, right? So for example, if you're not attractive, that's a hit. That's a minus, right? And if you're dark skin, that's a minus too. Unfortunately, that's the truth, right? Colorism. If you have a kid, that's another minus, right? If you're somebody that's being perceived as being someone who's, how can I say this, right? With a feminist ideology, that's another minus. All of these things, right, men view, right? That doesn't mean they're not going to fuck you, right? I mean, they're still gonna go and dick you down, but that tells them, oh yeah, this girl right has a kid. I'm like, she's 30-some years old, and she
The
listens
young lady
to
is 24. But go ahead.
that doesn't. She has a kid. How old is her kid?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. It's not gonna work out. It's not working. Now here's the thing. It's not over for her though. She still has hope. Okay, I know y'all are surprised, right? She still has hope, but it's gonna be a lot because she's gonna have to first of all, she's gonna have to prove to a dude that she's willing to really be a traditional wife. And the problem she's gonna face is that it's not that she can't do that, it's that men like me are just not gonna trust her. Because we already know that, yeah, they'll say that, but when they're actually in the situation, then it becomes oppressive. Then it becomes he's controlling me. Then it becomes all these things.
Right. Can I say something real quick? Believe it or not, some of the stuff you're saying, I actually agree. The only problem, though, is that you're some of the stuff. I mean, the thing is this. I think you're doing what I have accused a lot of younger men, especially in your age. You're thinking too much. If she's not attractive to you, then you would just move on instead of being mad at her for not being what you're looking for. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, first of all, look, she's attractive. She's decent looking. I mean, I'll give her 5 or 6. She's decent looking. Well, let's stop there for a second. The thing is that you shouldn't really be. I'm giving you information. You don't have to take it, or you can take it. The numbering system is something you really shouldn't think about because it's at the end of the day. If you haven't noticed, attractive women don't always treat a man the way that he wants to be treated. So yeah, that's true.
So if you walk in and you're numbering women in a way that you're making a decision because she's a 7 or above or a 6 or below or whatever, right? You've already damaged your probability of success because you've given this person a number that when you start digging into their personality, they may not deserve. And I don't mean they have a good or bad personality, but a personality that jives with your own. So I understand where you're going. And some of the things, like I said, I myself think that she needs a little bit more maturity and seasoning. But then I'm going to walk on. I'm not going to complain about anything else because I know she's not the choice for me. But what I'm not going to do is then complain about her to the world like the red pill system does. If she's not what you want, then she shouldn't even be on the radar. Why keep this radar thing as I mean, she doesn't believe in patriarchy. She doesn't believe in this. She doesn't believe in that. She's not traditional. Fine. But another thing a point I will need to make, Hammer, before I leave this to somebody else, is that most men are not traditional either. They're just not. A lot of men like to believe they are, but they're not. The numbers don't line up for them. If we had a traditional grading scale, like we grade women numbers on appearance, right? Most guys would be around a 2 or a 3 at the most. And here's the point. It's like, do you want to have sex before marriage? If you said yes, your number drops down. You see what I'm saying? Are you willing to wait 90 days before, having intercourse? No, your number goes down. So I understand your point of view, but again, I keep saying it over and over again. You cannot ask for something you cannot provide. Don't say if you're not, and the fact that you're 22 and still in college, you have to ask yourself, are you really looking for a wife or are you looking for a girlfriend? If you are looking for a girlfriend, you lose even more points because you're supposed to be looking for a wife, right? Wives look different than girlfriends.
DJ.
And girlfriends look different than what men call jump-offs, right?
Yeah, but once again, right? Look, this is not.
Well, do you see my point?
Yeah, I understand your point, sir. I do.
DJ.
But you have to understand that when it comes to men are much more. Men are
You can't
much
speak
more.
for men, sir. God,
Yeah, no.
Everybody, please let him finish. What were you saying?
My mic back, I got muted by someone. I'm not gonna call it, but that's fine. What I was saying here is that men in general, not all, right? Very clear. They balance these things out. So if you're a guy, right, and
wait,
define
what you mean like that. What do you balance what things out?
I'm just break it down, right? So let's say you're a man or like a guy, or you meet a chick who's, she's, let's say, a 6.
Okay, the fact that you use, wait, let me stop you for 1 second. The fact that you use the word chick means you're a modern man. Keep going.
Right.
Okay. A man meets a woman, all right, and he looks at her. Here's how guys go in the back. Most guys have, right? How they balance it out. Let's say in terms of attractiveness, she's a 6, right? But at the same time, she came from a 2-parent household. She treats him really nice. She's very feminine. And his mind's okay. Look, she may not be the most best looking, but she has other qualities I really like about her, right? Compared to if I was a girl who was a 10, she's good looking, but at the end of the day, I'm like, she's a bitch, she's a radical feminist. A lot of dudes will go with the girl who's a 6, right? And they'll probably cherish her more. Men use the numbers of just looks, but when it's time to pick, a lot of times they look at other things too, because once again, they understand it's a whole lot easier for women to get ran through than they do. So if you're gonna get with a girl who's a 9, you better have.
We got to come back to the statement about ran through. What did you mean by that? Can you please verify that?
It is easier for women to get sexual access from men. Okay, the average woman has an easier time getting sexual access from men compared to the average man.
Okay, now let me.
That's facts. We all know this.
Let me clear something up. You are correct, but unfortunately,
let's be honest here.
That can be seen as misleading. I'll tell you why. That men, at least in the Black community, I don't know what community you're in, but at least in the Black community,
I'm Black.
Men more than double the amount of partners than Black women do. Black women actually have less partners than white women do. So I just don't want anybody. It's not. I think we're on the same page, but I just want to make sure that doesn't get confused when you say run through. They have the ability. You're saying they have the ability to be run through, just like men have the ability. And
it's much more easier for women. All they have to do is open their legs. Let's be honest, you ladies. That's all they got to do.
Okay, let me stop you there for a second. But all men have to do is point. All men have to do and have been doing by over double the amount is pulling down their pants and poking.
Come on, brother. Know that's not how it works.
Come on about it.
The average guy cannot just walk up to a chick and say that's fuck. But the average female can walk up to her and say that's fuck.
The average guy in the Black community has found plenty of partners.
The average guy, some men, but
Can I ask a question?
Sure can.
Yeah.
I want to know why these men can never come to the panel and without saying something derogatory.
Derogatory? What did I say derogatory?
That's derogatory and disgusting. We can talk about sex in a proper way without being very nasty about it.
It's
here you are.
I can answer that for you. What it is that this is how he's grown up. He thinks he's traditional, and he's showing you that he's not.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing traditional, and you're not even being a gentleman, not in the least bit. And here you are sitting here, you know, as a young man who hardly has any life experience, and you're over talking an elder. I mean, what kind of world do we live in? You know, I think that the internet really has you young people twisted, as if all this information is somehow going to excel you in life. This is just information, but this has nothing to do with the fact that you're going to actually have to hit the pavement in life and let time tell. You can't even go back 10 years to you even taking care of yourself. So you really have no strong argument. You really should be sitting here kind of coasting along and learning something and coming with some suitable talking points. You're just spewing another man's talking points. You have not shown us yet that you are even an efficient young man. You have yet to say I. You say men. You're looking for a blanket. You want these other men's talking points to cloak you. I would have more respect for your argument right now if you said I. Speak about how you feel. You're no different than this young lady in this video.
I can say I, fine.
She's been listening to this information and digesting it, and she hasn't figured out who she is. You need to figure out who you are. What are your talking points? And you're going to have to hit the pavement first. You're going to actually have to build up some life experience for that to happen. You can't sit here and come up into a place where you don't even know people have lived twice, 2 and 3 times your life. And you're sitting here debating about a life you haven't even lived.
Facts. Couldn't say it better.
So
couldn't say it better. No, hold on. You don't go back. You need to just take a moment and take in what she just said for real.
Yeah, don't worry about trying to win an argument. Just kind of take it in and learn from there, because we got all night.
May I say something? I don't want it to go by that he, you know, when talking about this young lady, mentioned that she's dark skinned, so that's going to be a negative. I'll tell you what, I'm sick of this. No, it's black male worshiping culture. It's not red pill.
But that's the truth. That's colorism.
It starts here. It starts with our community. Then, you know, they branch out and they get this other foolishness. But it amazes me how powerless men can sit and cast judgment, say what they want, and talk about traditional. Because again, they don't even know what traditional is. They would lose they would lose at life if traditional was actually what was called upon them to do. I guess it's offensive because the men he thinks he's comparing, he's not even in that category, because those men aren't doing this. They're not talking about this kind of stuff. So to me, it's almost like the nerve, the unmitigated gall. If he's talking about feminism, that means he's afraid of a concept. So what kind of patriarchy does he think he has if he's afraid of feminism? What he's saying is, give me a head start, grade me on a curve. I'm afraid. Please stop being successful, Black women. And this whole thing with a child. Most men date women with children. And that's the bottom line of it. And they do. They really do. So I'm just seeing they've allowed certain things to be like they're scarlet letters, and they're in the least position to be able to do it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, really, the fact that he even gets to say the things he's saying, it's offensive. Like we got. I mean, my thing is restoring order back to like they're delusional, and my thing is it's they have to be brought back to where it's like, no, you can't make demands. And I want Black women demand everything from men, and that's going to mean you definitely have to date out. But don't tell them that Black women don't date. I'm tired of this.
Let me make something clear. It really comes down to this. You can't really demand everything from men, because that means you're asking for everything. What you should demand is what you want in your life from a man. That is reasonable, because demand everything, that means that I don't want that to be misconstrued as us agreeing that, oh wow, okay, yeah, you got to start at 150K before you get with me and blah blah blah. Now some women in here, y'all can ask for that. I ain't gonna say who, but I know y'all got it going on. But at the same time, we can't make that the general thing. You have to ask for who. There used to be a saying in some movies, who will complete you, who will make your life better. Start with thinking about it without the money. The money is something that it will just have to be a part of the formula later on, but it shouldn't be what you first think about.
May I say something, DJ? This is why I get.
We need to give May a little time, and then after May, you can speak after that. But May's been waiting for a long time.
Okay, I'm sorry, May.
No, you guys are good. I admire y'all's patience. I had to step away at least twice, 15 minutes, because I was like, "Woo, this dude is woo." Anyhow, I'm gonna try not to sound too. I don't know. Somebody called me a councilwoman or something earlier, so I'll try to sound a little more casual.
That's a compliment. I love that.
Oh, it was a compliment. Oh, okay.
Councilwoman. Oh yeah.
Well, I come on social media to have fun, so I hope I don't sound like a councilwoman. But yeah, you guys. Okay, so I want to make just 2 points, and I hope that I don't end up being earning a mammy badge behind what I'm gonna say. But first of all, I think that we do have to look globally, and we got to see how things are seen outside of our culture. And we're in a Western culture which has like a very feminist slant to it. And I understand it. Okay. So we can't act like there's not order in a lot of societies, like a set order. There's shame in those cultures. There are standards in those cultures, lots of cultures, even within American culture. And there's a certain way that one is supposed to do things. And there's certain ways that people are not supposed to do things. There's people that exist in that order. Now you can choose not to be part of that order, which is your right. Right. So there's this like very structured, ordered society that you can be part of. And then there's also this kind of like individualistic, do your own thing, make your own rules. You got to decide, in my opinion, early on, which one you want to be in. Now, when it comes to traditional marriage, this is my second point. When it comes to traditional marriage, when we say traditional, I think most people in America are not traditional. They say they want marriage, but they don't know what marriage is. That's male and female. So I want to be equal here. Men and women a lot of women and men are not qualified. Not only are they not qualified, they don't desire it. Like when you really get down to it, they don't even know what marriage is. And so I think that's worth looking at too. Marriage is a dying institution. It's almost freaking dead. And people need to stop trying to jump on it like they're part of it because they want to be. Married people, husbands and wives, are born and bred by a society that has created a space for them to exist as husbands and wives. We got this popular culture. Everybody just think they can add a title on, go get a ring and have a wedding. That's not marriage. Marriage is an institution. And I'm telling y'all, it's dead. A lot of these men ain't traditional and they're not trying to have traditional marriages. And a lot of women are not traditional and not having traditional. And the thing is, marriage ain't making you better than nobody. Let's get that out there first and foremost. It is not a high point of life. You're either born for it or you're not. And when I say born for it, I'm saying you were prepared for it by your family. That's something that you don't know how to go without, maybe. That's the only order you know. And I'm just saying, I think a lot of people are trying to jump on it like this girl. She just want to escape. And so she's trying to jump on the institution she don't belong in. She don't belong. And it's not about one thing being better than the other. I want to be clear about that. Marriage is an institution. It ain't got nothing to do with love. It ain't got nothing to do with all this other stuff people want to say. So we need to like look at, what are you really trying to be? Were you bred to be that? Are you qualified to be that? And I would argue a lot of stuff that us women do disqualify us for being wives, period. And that's what I'm going to say.
Okay, I got some some messages. Actually, let's see here. Peaches was dropping some gems up in here, and I want to make sure here we go. It's sad that women are deemed mammies when they try to bring a balance to a conversation. And I agree. Hey, just a couple of weeks ago, we would go on, my old crew was going at each other, calling each other mammies, but we all have a different point of view in here. Now, the mammy level, and I'm going to use this for a shameless plug for tomorrow's show, because tomorrow's Saturday, right? The problem we have is if a defense of a certain point of view becomes toxic, and that's where the possible mamming might be, the mammy labels start to be thrown. And what I mean is, like, if someone says, for example, one woman said, if blah blah did this, then she maybe should have listened to this person, and they shame other people. Let's put it that way. Mammies, that's a simple way for me to do it. A mammy is a woman who shames other women on the behalf of men. That's the best way to put it. And then another excellent one. Yeah, marriage benefits the children. Marriage benefits the children, and that's the goal of marriage, really, to me, is the number one goal. That is it. It's for the kids, in my opinion, of course, because everybody else will have their opinion, if you have kids, of course. But it's supposed to be for the children. I agree with that. I'm done talking. Everybody else, you can jump on in.
I think what I want to say is culturally, like, let's say, even with Jews, and not the guy I had, y'all, but I'm just saying about my Jewish women friends, they could make demands, what we thought were ridiculous, snobbish demands, and sometimes the men met it, because the men are raised to know that they have to do that they have to provide, like, because it's the standards. So I guess what I'm saying, even with the Indians too, there's excellence demanded. So when I hear guys who aren't even delivering the excellence talk about what they expect from a woman, they can't even compare themselves to other men. Other men aren't moving like these manosphere raised kids.
That's not even true.
You know what I mean? So
there's a whole white manosphere.
Well, it actually, look, you're not at their level. You're not at their level. So that's the thing. So all I'm saying, I don't mean to insult them. Can you let me finish? I'm just saying, we have to, I guess, just look at this from where we stand. If you're a woman, you date black men, just still have high standards, but realize when they're gaslighting you and they're being rude to try to keep you down, because he's done nothing different than what the other guys have done. It's that they want to kind of keep black women in their place. He's talking about feminism and stuff like that. It's just, we're sick of the talking points. I mean, bring something different. This is so unoriginal. There, okay. That's all I want to say.
Okay, Hammer, make your retort, but please try to make it
quick. Okay. Ladies, let me respond quickly. Okay. There is a whole white manosphere. Rollo Tomasi has been like the face of the white manosphere for decades. Okay. In Asia, have you heard of the herbivore men? In South Korea, in Japan, in China.
I apologize.
Okay, can you land it?
I just had to. I'm sorry. I had to exercise my tyrant.
What is he saying?
I don't know. And I just had to exercise my tyrant title, because this is not. We're not. Melinda, can you mute, please?
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah, I just can't. When we've already discussed these things, we keep going over these same points over and over and over and over again, and it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to have to go back and forth. You get a good point, and people don't even rest in the point to be able to retort with something of value. It's this excited. I told you that 2-page pamphlet, they turn it on the back and they, wait, I can say this matches. Let me say this, that oppositional conversation. And that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here about. We want to have a genuine conversation with genuine people who have genuine thoughts of their own, not somebody who's sharing a brain with a dead man. We don't care about the white manosphere. We don't care about the white red pillars. We don't care about any of those things. Just because somebody mentions them, that doesn't mean that it's a source for an argument.
the rights they fought for.
Okay, DJ, can we play the rest of this video?
All
I mean,
right,
is there
all
any?
right.
Oh,
So
my
can
bad.
I finish? Like she literally, I literally got dropped mid
Oh,
sentence.
Wow.
Oh, no,
You
no, no, no,
guys-
no. Can I say
You
something
guys,
real
y'all
quick?
know what?
Because sir, you literally do not listen.
What are you talking? Hey,
Let me tell you what they think what's going on.
Oh
What you're
man.
doing is that we're talking about hamburgers and French fries, and then you want to talk about, I don't know, drills and power tools. You're not you're the thing is this, and I understand because you were younger, or maybe you're just doing it because you want to. I don't know, but you're not staying on the subject. You're making it this big conspiracy theory thing. You want to talk about the history of the manosphere. We're not even there. Okay. We're on single mothers right now. Okay. And we don't want to get into an argument or a debate over what you want to talk about. We want to get on. We don't mind arguing and we don't mind debating, but it's going to be on what the subject line is. And I gave you a second to talk, to bring it, to land the plane, and you didn't land it. You didn't land it, bro. That's the problem we're having here. Hey, we like the fact that you're trying to put an effort to make a debate. But you need to debate. You need to stay within the lines. And what we mean is not within the lines of losing. There he goes. Never mind. I'm not going to even finish he's not even worth finishing my speech for. But the bottom line is, like, if you want to have a debate, you debate over. You need to stay within the lines. Otherwise, even in a real professional debate, they don't let you talk about a completely different subject. They'll mute you. They'll mute you. So
yeah, DJ, is it possible, or somebody gonna? I wanted to say.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, I was hoping to just kind of talk honestly among us, not to rile anybody up or hurt anybody, but do we as Black women, can we be honest about accountability? And when I say accountability, us personally as women saying that something that we're doing is either working for or against us. Absolutely. And be honest about that and the implications and the consequences of our decisions.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I would like to, I appreciate that, y'all, because I know I have a very unpopular opinion, I think, in our modern era. And it definitely conflicts. And I think somebody could even say I'm a hypocrite as a feminist in what I'm about to say. But I think that when I talked about earlier, that whole idea of order, right? That in certain societies, they're unapologetic, y'all. They're unapologetic. But we have this, what I would say pseudo Black culture, this modern pseudo Black popular culture that we've allowed us to buy into. I remember I got rid of Essence magazine. Do y'all know why I got rid of Essence magazine?
Why?
What were they promoting? Y'all guess.
Oh,
the TGs?
Baby mama
Promotion?
culture. They was promoting baby mama culture. In my Essence magazine. And I used to love Essence. I loved Essence. I used to read everything, circle and rip it out, put it on the wall. I loved Essence. I had to give Essence up because I wasn't going to allow them to indoctrinate me as a Black woman into something or thinking differently about something that I was taught by my family and change that, which is, that children happen in the sacredness of marriage. And so when I say, single mama, absent father, I like to say both of them, okay? Not just one. When I say that, I'm talking about people who never got married and had those children in marriage. That's what I'm talking about. Not talking about widows, not talking about women who had divorces, but women who made a decision to have children outside of wedlock. And so I'm going to just shorten it up because I don't want to dominate the panel. But what I want to say is I think that as Black women, we do have to acknowledge we're in a real society where there is order and there are men who might be the most desired that we might want, and face the reality that it does give us possible limitations on the type and quality of the men. I didn't say settle, but I'm saying we do have to acknowledge that it can very much limit our access to good quality men. I'm saying limit, not settle. And that's because men don't necessarily want to inherit children from another man. They do not want to, they may just see themselves as order. They came from a family where they have to have that order. Indian men are unapologetic about it. African men, Arab men, so many different men are unapologetic about that. I want a wife who comes to me as a wife with just her, and we will start a family together. And I don't think men are wrong for that, and I don't think women are wrong for that. Women can demand the same thing from a man. If I'm single, I don't want to sign up for a guy who has 3 children. I don't want that. I have a right to demand that I don't want that. He's not at the quality or the level of expectation for me. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And I think we have to get past that place where we think everybody's a winner. That's some woke bullshit. That's some woke bullshit. I am not the same as somebody who decided to do things recklessly or who did things uncautiously or didn't put enough energy into their self, enough self-love, enough self-care. I preserved certain things because of marriage. And I'm not the same as other women who didn't. I'm not the same. Those women are not the same as me. Not one better than the other. We're different. I'm just saying we got to recognize difference. And I just think that as women, we have to say there are consequences. And if we're not being honest about that, we're not being honest. That's my thoughts. What do y'all think?
Sounds excellent. I want to say something. Message from Leah. The problem with Black women as a whole is we needed to raise our standards a long time ago. We made things way too easy for Black men. Coddling is the issue. Believe it or not, that's absolutely true.
I only unmuted to read the comment.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think part of it is we coddle everybody. We coddle everybody and we want to invite everybody to the party, but not everybody is meant for the journey. I keep saying that. It's not to shame anyone else, but it's also we want to quote unquote raise our standards, but we're not raising our standards to young women. We're not telling them at a point before they get to the point where they need to raise their standards after they've made a whole lot of mistakes. They need to be caught early. These young women need to be caught early and told, stop at one. If you made a mistake, if you erred in judgment and you had a child, stop at one. There's no need to keep going on and on and on and on and on, having children out of wedlock. And another thing is that all single mothers aren't created equal. That you have single mothers that are single mothers as a result of the death of their husband, legal husband. You have single mothers who are single mothers as a result of the divorce of a divorce from their legal husbands. So there are different levels of single motherhood, but everybody likes to put every single mother in the same basket, and it's not the same. It's just not the same at all. But when we talk about the crisis is more so to do with younger women having 6 children and still out here looking for another relationship when your child is only 9 months old. I mean, your 6th child is 9 months old. That's a crisis. We have a crisis of not having high enough expectations for one another and saying that it's okay, girl, you can do it, level up. No, there is no, what you need to do is your level up should be focusing on your children and focusing on an ability for you to sustain yourself and those children outside of help from or assistance from the government, because we know the governmental programs aren't a guarantee. So instead of encouraging them and saying that it's okay, girl, you got this, you'll find a husband. No, find yourself. First, find yourself. We don't encourage women enough to find themselves. We don't encourage singleness. And when I say singleness, I mean singleness, celibacy, and being in tune with yourself and seeing yourself as a certain individual that won't accept less. And you can demand more when you see yourself as more and when you're doing more. And it's true that there's no age limitation on that, but at the same time, when you add children, there is an age limitation, because let's be frank, there are lots of children that are being exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. We can talk about Austin Holloman, who's saying he was exposed to pornography at the age of 6. So you have so many things, so many dynamics going on with single parents that they need to be more focused on their children, because it's the children that are suffering as a result of these situations.
I totally agree
Okay,
with
I
that.
have something
Totally
quick
agree.
to say, and then I'm gonna let somebody else speak. I just got hit by an epiphany, and the epiphany is this: is that if feminism did not exist, do we really believe there would be less single mothers right now? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Because the thing is this: feminism only made it easier for women to get better jobs and have better opportunities. But men will be men. If anything, believe it or not, feminism might have made feminism might have kept, because think about it like this. If feminism didn't exist, it comes with the package, which means that now you got to take care of women who these same men are still in their same mindset, right? Because feminism affects women. It might affect men financially if the way they think about it. But think about it. If feminism didn't exist, and there wasn't, and I mean in just the basic form of equality, would men really change their note? Would men really be saying, "Hey, you know something? I need to be celibate and not just give my seed, as they call it, to other people, to other women"? Would they? Do you really think men would be more traditional? I don't think so. So, really, when you think about it, feminism, in a way, is helping men too, because they don't have to take care of their responsibilities.
DJ, without feminism, the Black demographic would be decimated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, literally, it would probably be more like the death rate of women would at least quadruple, at least.
No, the death rate of men, because it's so many men have been relying upon women for their existence.
True. Feminism means this. If feminism goes away, that means like every time a man, now men cannot pump and dump. Man cannot get on a plane and fly away and hump women, because it's a package deal, y'all. If feminism goes away, that means the bill's on you, fellas. Let me make it clear: a much bigger bill than you thought would be on you. Because feminism allows that so-called single mother to go out there and earn her money and get paid fair enough. So if you wanted to be a deadbeat, she's not gonna die. And let's face it, a lot of y'all are. So if you want to throw up the feminism flag, it's okay, but understand how it works for you and doesn't work for you. Because again, if it didn't exist, would you change your practices? Would you become that? As a man, if feminism didn't exist, would you become that traditional man where you open doors and you wait 90 days or you wait till marriage? Okay? Now it don't sound too good, do it? The non-feminism, it doesn't sound too good, do it?
Most of these men who are saying all this stuff about traditional, they would die if a woman told them you have to wait till we're married. They'd be like, she's no good. She's playing games. She's this, she's that. They're not traditional. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of this stuff, it's a lot of people wanting to pretend to take on a role that they are not prepared for. They do not understand. They just want to do something. This girl on this video, she just want to do something. That's not marriage. Saying that you're going to sign up for threesomes and he can do whatever he wants to do and blah. That's not marriage. And her saying she'll be a maid and all this other stuff, that's not marriage. This girl has no idea. Look at what her answer was. She went back there with that little raggedy outfit on and she started pumping her butt around. Tell me what man who's looking for a wife and who has order in his life is going to be proud that she was even on this show and pumping her booty around for anybody. Who knows, after she got off of this show, she could have got a whole bunch of numbers and prostituted herself based on how she was acting. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah. So
I mean,
the question I had also is just a final question, because I want to go back to that accountability part. What are the consequences for us as women if we are not careful with our wombs, if we don't treat ourselves as the most sacred and we don't protect our autonomy? What are the consequences? Because that's the part. I'm not on no red pill stuff. I'm talking about women supporting and helping themselves be in the best situation without struggle. That's where I'm coming from. What are the consequences?
What we're seeing now exponentially with children given the current climate, given the fact that Roe v. Wade has been overturned, given the fact that they don't mind that there's going to be a point where they stop this rapid release of criminals, it's going to be the black demographic is going to decline in not a good way, especially if you taking away governmental programs. So what you're going to have is an entire demographic of people that are essentially that have essentially placed them back in almost slave-like situations, because we can't keep encouraging, we can't keep saying, it's okay, girl, you made a mistake, you can do this, to a woman that has 5 kids and she's not married, or
Amen.
She's never been married.
Amen.
We can't keep doing that. We don't want, Melinda, can you mute, please? We don't want to demonize them, but at the same time, we don't want to encourage this type of behavior, because let's be real. Would you want your child, your daughters, would you want your daughter to befriend someone who has all of these children? Seriously.
It's not even all of, even just one. I would prefer that my daughter was not friends with a girl that was teen pregnant. If she was in college, I would want her around people who have a sense of order that reflects what we've taught and instilled in our daughters. So yeah, I want a tribe of people who think alike and behave alike. Yeah, a order. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead, Melinda.
Oh, was somebody going to say something?
Okay, yes. Let's. Okay, Melinda, you there? You ready?
Yeah. Oh, I am.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think that first of all, I think Crystal had said something like Black women are the only women who are expected to grow up, strong and soft without having been watered. I think we don't have a community that's going to produce the women that are supposed to be this strong and have these standards. Other communities have high standards for their males too, and that's what I don't ever hear in this community. The men are held to a standard to where they're protecting. They're not impregnating girls. They want to protect their bodies too. See, we don't even know all the situations that are causing someone's pregnancy. But I guess it's just if we can
what
just
community
tell
though? We
girls
don't have a community. We don't have a community.
Oh, okay. Well, so these individual Black women. So why do we care then?
No, what she when she says community, there is no solidarity amongst us. Is
yeah.
What we're saying.
But the thing is, we have to go back and also look at the culture. You got to clean the culture up and have high expectations of what men are supposed to do too. And again, some of these things
we don't have one culture either, though. That we don't have that either.
I'm just gonna say it like this. Some things need to be
burned. So we don't
up.
have that. So
some things need to be burned and discarded. We can't clean up.
I'm thinking, yes, you're right.
Wait. Let me say this. We can't clean up around somebody else's street just only for them to make it dirty again and then go back on our side of town to our clean homes and then come back again and clean up the dirty side and then come back on our side of town where it's clean and safe. We can't keep doing that. The dirty is going to have to be dirty and discarded.
All right, I do want to interject for 1 second.
Okay.
I want to make sure that JP, Siobhan, and Creative get a moment to speak. Let's go with JP first, then Siobhan. If JP has something good, then
Oh no, I'm just all ears, man. I'll yield my time.
Okay, Siobhan, do you have anything you'd like to say?
This conversation just has me tongue-tied because I'm finding that in these conversations, it kind of seems a touch of roboticism, and I'm concerned about that as a human being. I get that there's definitely a foundational, there's foundational terms that need to be addressed. However, when we make things seem so DIY in perspective, as if there's a one size fits all, it begins to make me question how much of a human experience we're here versus a systematic one, if that makes sense. Because even what Melinda's saying right now, I think I'm also just caught in a tailspin with that, because if there's no community, like she said, it's like, why do you care? And so it just goes back to we're just at this cusp and things are just blowing up all around us. And there's a lot of rubble, but there's still somewhat of a battle of the terms and conditions, because going back to these patriarchal and traditional terms, they really don't apply. So it's like we're really sitting amongst a community who really can't discuss these talking points, because none of these men are walking in. They're not the king or the prince, the sultan or the duke to anything, to any empire. So what kind of tradition are we building? Which the foundation of tradition is built in lineage. So if there's no lineage and we're rebuilding a lineage, then basically we're starting from scratch. But what is tradition for a group of people who really haven't had any tradition? We were brought here and we tried to assimilate to someone's tradition, but we never necessarily really had it in mass numbers. So it's just, I don't know.
I agree with you, Siobhan. And that's why I said at the very beginning, I think that marriage and all this traditional stuff, I think is over. I think it's dead. That's why I began that way, because
I don't think it ever really existed though, May,
Yeah.
specifically in our community. Because it's like, when you study history and, you named even a couple of, you named the Indians and the Arabs, and it's like, these are established familial bloodlines. And here we are coming off of, systematically what we've been through. And I think this just goes back to the foundation of confusion, because this community has tried to take a little bit of everybody and try to assimilate to it. And how do you assimilate to a standard that doesn't come from you? Because then the flip side of that I would have to debate is, we're supposed to be so-called from a spiritual people. So we weren't necessarily even designed for an American dream that was built by a community that isn't even our ancestors, AKA these so-called white people. So it's just like, that doesn't even fall in line spiritually to where we come from, so it's just kind of confusing to say, oh, well, tradition, get married. It's like, well, but we already know behind the scenes what's going on in our community in terms of mental health, in terms of financial standards. And then in terms of talking about children, one thing I haven't heard anybody bring up either is everybody's talking about dollar signs, when you don't even know if you might have a child that needs special needs, a wheelchair, your child could have an accident, your child could end up on drugs, needing rehab. I mean, there's so many variables to where it's like, to just sit here and be blase. I don't know. It's confusing to me.
Yeah, I agree with you about the idea that we don't even have an established culture. And we had that conversation before. Like, there's a lot of acculturation for Black people. It can be. You're copying some other dominant culture, no doubt about it. But my main thing is, I think that we just have to decide, because there's no community. You can't point, like we can point to the Jewish community and say, okay, this is their when they go to their place of worship, this is their sense of order, this is what they've agreed. They follow their elders, they listen. The women are married off in an orderly fashion. This is how you have a family. These are the schools you go to. Oh, they're very orderly. This is where you live. It's all laid out. They have a real community. And so when I hear the whole thing about black community, there is no black community. There is no black culture. We're just a bunch of Negroes spread out doing our own freestyle. And that's what I think we are. If we have a culture, it's freestyle. Do what thou wilt.
Right. I agree.
And
with
don't
that.
judge me. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
What's that?
But we can abide by like some basic morality. We see we're in a system where the other people are doing that and they're making it, and they're having a modicum of success. Things aren't perfect, but at the same time, I don't think we're so different that, we require a whole different way of doing something that would have been better, at least where we are. So what I'm saying is the standards, respect, holding the men to a standard too, to be protectors. We have a flip dynamic. So I'm just saying, I think we have so much unprotection. The girls are unprotected. The kids are unprotected.
But if we're freestyle, Melinda, how do anybody get there? If everybody's freestyle, that's what I'm saying. We all freestyle. Whatever you want to do is what you do. Don't nobody tell you nothing because you grown. Ain't no shaming. Leave me alone. That's my decision. I'm grown. This is the culture that we have. If we have anything, don't judge me. If I sell my ass, I'm selling ass. You can't slut shame me. If I'm fat, you better leave me alone. You can't tell me I'm not attractive. I'm just saying, we got this freestyle chaos.
Arrogant, we're pretty arrogant too. Yeah,
we got a freestyle chaos. Come on,
right?
Yeah, but we're not. It wasn't this bad. It's gotten worse. I mean, it was way different. I just think that somehow we have to come together. I think there's little communities within a community, but I just think that there's still basic things that we can do, that we're stepping out outside the bounds, and other people aren't. And that's why they have better results and outcomes. So that's all.
But see, it gets dicey because that's just like what they would accuse me of coochie policing. Because look what the guy would hammer. He came in here and he admitted that a man would have sex with this woman, but he wouldn't marry her. So this is the repeated cycle. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Okay, that man has sex with her. Now she's pregnant again with a second baby. So it's just like, even how they're speaking, because we already know that the rates are going down. So that is somewhat of a saving grace. So we see that there's traction taking place because these young ladies have to pay attention to what's being said and how you're being quantified and variated as if you don't even really exist. That's why I said there's a strong disconnection going on with these conversations from humanity and from experience, and everybody wants to create the perfect life. And I can see now why we are going to sell ourselves over to artificial intelligence, because everybody is going to want to live the perfect, convenient life. And sooner or later, they'll start making designer babies. We already doing other things to create childbirth. It's just all of these systematic robotic things that I'm seeing happen before me, because everybody wants to quantify how much money it's going to cost to do this, what you need to do that. But nobody is paying attention to the fact that real life still is going to take place. That bank account and that nest egg isn't going to do anything. As I'm sitting here listening to the conversations, I'm thinking about all the people I've known, all the neighbors I've known, all the people who have done the right things and things happen to them. I can't realistically sit here and try to come up with a 1-2 step program to how to make your life better as a mom, as a single person, nothing, because that process doesn't exist. You literally are going to have to get out here on the pavement. And whatever decision you make, just know that it's a risk, because that's what life is. And I think that's what we need to be promoting. And then we can talk about things on the back end. But when everybody's sitting here saying, no, what you got to do is you got to do this. You got to put your right foot in and your left foot out and shake it all about. No, that's not how life really works. And that's what's happening to these young people. They're listening to it, and then they think they're going to rehearse life and then press play.
Are you talking about the manosphere? Are you talking about the manosphere when you say that? Are you talking about the manosphere the way it's saying you have to be like size 6, you got to be a 10? Is that what you're speaking
all
of?
This quantification, right? Just on all these spaces, all of this pseudo 1-2 step rules to everything. And I think it's scaring young people. Like everybody that's a certain age, we kind of certain people kind of know better, but for these young people, I'm really afraid because this is turning into an artificial intelligence situation, and we already know that that's being introduced. I mean, around the world. So it's only a matter of time. And when I sit back and I think, when I watch futuristic movies, how are we going to allow this artificial intelligence to take over? And when I'm listening to these conversations, I'm like, oh, this is how it's going to happen, because everybody wants to live a perfect little life, no mistakes. No mistakes. So what are you here
I
for?
think for at least us, we got to stop with the children thing. I think the other Gemini and May were right. We somehow, we do have to, it's education and stuff. We do have to stop that, because that's going to cripple a lot of women, Black women, especially having children out of term and unprotected. That's just going to be a big risk. It's just not, it's senseless. It's dangerous because you create vulnerable children.
Mentality though. That's the mentality. Like, I think we should focus more on that instead of, because I think what happens is wait until you're 30. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to wake up on my 30th birthday and I'll have it all figured out. Like, I don't want to get into those kind of conversations where it's just all, once again, systematic. It's like, no, if we're going to talk about these things, then let's talk about before you have any baby, 20, 30, 40, married, whatever, 6 feet tall, 4'11", that your mindset, your spiritual, fortitude is in order. Because as we're watching this video and we're watching this young lady, I just see a young lady that's lost. And, she's in a position, and like May was saying, she's trying to get an escape. She's trying to look for an escape route. But what is that going to lead to for her and the child?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I hadn't thought about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Siobhan. You're right. And I think that's why some of us, we're like hate watching Manosphere, because we are seeing this formulaic life. And it is scary. It is AI. It's artificial intelligence. It's like a formula for humans. And the goal is some unmeetable perfection. That is scary. I'm glad you brought that up.
Right, let me playboy this is video. Let's see if we can get somewhere through it. Here we go.
Know about it. I mean, I really don't care because, honestly, we're going to share these men involuntarily, so I might as well share them, voluntarily, honestly. I mean, they're going to do what they want to do regardless, honestly. I mean, I just came to the point where I've just, accepted that. That's fine.
Oh, okay, so she doesn't care if he has other women. Does he have to look a certain way?
Yes, not out of shape, not overweight, not obese. I like dark skinned men, bald preferably, with a beard. Or you don't have to be bald, but just like a grown man, a grown dark chocolate handsome black man.
So you're 24. What's the age range you would date?
I would say 30 and up.
30 and up. Does he have to live in North Carolina?
No. I mean, he can fly me out.
So he does have to fly you out if he doesn't live in North Carolina, though.
Correct.
Could he have kids already?
It doesn't matter.
So if he flies you out, should he expect sex, or is this just the meeting in person?
He can expect whatever he wants to expect, honestly. I mean, you can't control somebody's expectations.
Disingenuous. She should have just said no. If it's a first date and you're looking for marriage, that's my opinion. You just say no.
This is true. So let me ask the question more directly. Are you going to have sex with him if he flies you out?
Depending on how he treats me, it may be a possibility, but I'm not.
Should be no.
What? She just played herself. She played herself.
Yeah.
What?
She played herself.
Can I say something?
Sure can.
Okay, so I don't like how Kendra, so she just said that how she don't care if he sleeps with other men. And Kendra just went past her comment and didn't even question her and didn't see anything wrong with that. Like, that's normal.
Yeah, that exactly. Because that's what her crowd likes. That's where she got the question.
Stuff like that I don't like. That's just like, oh my gosh. Like, why you telling her that she can't get better? Like, she should want more. Like,
creative. I think my assumption of this might help. When I was, believe it or not, I was a Kendra fan when she first started her show on YouTube, because she already had it on Facebook, but I wasn't watching it on Facebook. I don't know why, I just didn't. So anyway, she had a really hard time getting men to come up to the panel. It was always mostly women. It's still, even really right now, it's kind of still that way. Because her crowd, that's basically her crowd, you know. So she started to give in my opinion, gave concessions to a certain mentality of men, which most of the men most of the men in this dating world, they're on the red pill, they're in red pill online. So for her to at least acquire or gain enough bodies of men to be on her show, she kind of like let the Kevin Samuels theory through, because she does not believe in Kevin Samuels at all. But she's using their views anyway to attract them so that she can have some men to put on the show. That's why that's why when I watch her show, you're getting a strong cross section of the men that are in that Kevin Samuels, men that follow Kevin Samuels, which, as we can see, isn't all that. So, but that's where it's coming from.
Okay, but damn, just imagine that everybody that's online dating is potentially red pillar. Well,
Yeah.
One thing you have to realize too is that these are highlights. This isn't everybody that goes on her show.
But
so these
exactly.
What's represented here is highlights.
Exactly. But I've seen her shows all the way through, and I would say maybe one man per show is really like might have potential, and I think I might be being nice, but that's how I know. I mean, I be in these YouTube streets. It's not like I'm giving an assumption when I say there's really a very few men that in red pill that have the capability of taking care of a family emotionally and financially. I mean that.
One of the things I'm just thinking, like, does this girl even know what marriage is? Like, would she even have a working definition?
I don't think she does, May.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
she's
scary.
lost. That's why I said, like, she is in no position right now to even be dating, let alone talking about being some man's wife. I'm concerned about that 5-year-old in there because it seems like it's a little too much air flowing around in between both of her left and right ear. So this is why it's like, this is problematic within itself. But you would think that Kendra would take over as the elder and kind of school her more. Don't beat up on her and try to ask her these little weird questions. You see she's lost. Like, this is when you got to come out and start guiding the girl into some sort of direction. But I don't know what else she's going to say. We haven't finished watching it. So.
Okay, I do want to ask Triple Black a question before we continue, and then we'll get back into the video. Triple Black, I have a question for you, and I just need a as short as possible answer. Let's say feminism did not exist anymore. Do you believe you could go without sex before marriage?
Yeah. If feminism didn't exist, the marriage process would be a lot quicker.
So you would not have sex until marriage?
It would. Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't take that long. It wouldn't take that long because men are really particular of what we want. Once we lock into a girl, we or a woman, whatever, we know what we exactly want.
So how long would that take in your estimate?
Probably like 2-3 months, possibly.
Okay, if a woman wanted to wait a year for marriage, would you have a problem waiting for sex until a year?
Yeah. I mean, no, and I wouldn't have a problem because the thing about it is there's going to be enough sexual, like women that they're going to have sex with you to where if you don't get to do that.
You don't get to do that.
No. I'm just saying it.
No. Wait. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that you get sex from nobody. You have to wait and date for a year. Can you do it?
If it's Absolutely, 100%. If
Okay.
if she checks all the boxes, absolutely, 100.
Okay, have you done it before?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and start this video unless somebody else has a comment.
I'll do real quick, DJ.
Okay.
Let's just keep in mind that the engagement would have to be a year because engagements are normally 12 to 18 months in time length. So yes,
Right.
you would have to wait.
I mean, if this is the mother of
true,
your
so let me
children, absolutely.
You may not
So
know
why
that.
aren't you doing it now? Or why haven't you already done it?
He
No,
ain't
because I
traditional.
mean, but the
He
thing
ain't
about it
traditional.
is, I mean, once you meet a woman, I just assume she's banging like 2 or 3 dudes, so she don't have her chastity right. So
The women you want to
I
approach
hear
are banging 2 or 3. The women that you're entertaining are banging
no,
2 or 3
most women
guys.
are.
I asked you, the women that you would entertain are banging 2 or 3 guys potentially.
Most women in our society have at least a couple dudes
Do
that
you
they.
have the stats to support that? Do you have gynecological stats? Center of Disease Control
Now,
stats? Where are the
actually,
stats at?
well, actually, that's impossible, and I'll tell you why. Because of the stats we already showed before, where men are twice as promiscuous as women. For that to be true, black men and black women would have literally have to have the same numbers at least. With not the women, if anything, the women, for 2 or 3 women to be banging, for a woman to be banging 3 different guys on the regular, right? Though the stats that we have would have to be the women having 3 times the amount of partners than men, and it's not true. We had this conversation, I believe, before, and it's his point of view, but I cannot go any further than saying that. There's no way there's no way that's true.
It's just it's so harm. This is another aspect of things that make it harmful to women in the community, the so-called community, because I don't like to say that, but that in our demographic, because you have these men with these expectations, and so when a woman says no, if the man goes into it with that mind frame, he's incensed because he already thinks that she's sleeping around.
Right.
And her reason for saying no is something completely different than what it really is, because they have this mindset that women don't just say no. Women don't just say no to men that they're attracted to. That's insane. I can't tell you how many men I've just said no. Just because I'm attracted to you doesn't mean that I want to sleep with you. Just because a man is attractive doesn't mean every woman wants to sleep with him. There are women that do value their bodies. There are women that don't, that are so emotionally connected with their womanhood that if you don't know a man well enough and he doesn't know you well enough, you don't even get aroused like that. So these men are so extremely disingenuous because they're only reflecting their own mindset. They're only reflecting and projecting what they would do. They have all these women in rotation, and so they think every woman has a whole bunch of men in rotation. I'm not saying that there aren't women that do that. I'm not saying that there aren't women who act like men. I'm not saying that. But from my experience and the women that I've surrounded myself with the patients that I've provided therapy to, this is not a thing that's so common that you can say that it's large scale.
Wait,
But
so
you see,
Gemini, are you a sapio? I mean,
Yes,
who's
very
echoing?
much so.
Oh,
Very
okay
much
then.
so.
yes.
Yeah.
But
see,
go ahead and give it's a sapiosexual. I'm a heterosexual sapiosexual. Let me put it like that. But very much so.
Yeah. I just
But
want to
see,
bring
the
up.
problem. Oh,
Go ahead,
man.
Siobhan. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that the problem is, look how he kicked the door in. They quick to talk tradition, but then they go right into these hood rat anthologies.
Exactly.
It's just like, come on,
true.
what are we doing?
Well, it's like a Donald Goins novel, ain't it?
They're all fake. That's what I'm saying. All these people out here are playing and acting and grabbing titles and wanting to be stuff they're not. Wasn't cut out for. Don't measure up. It's all kind of people out here. And somebody, you said it yourself, Siobhan, the other day. You were talking about this whole narcissism on the rise, right? Everybody's a freaking expert, and everybody think they know everything. And you even spoke to that with this guy with the little hammer dude. He up here ain't know nothing, ain't done nothing, ain't been engaged in nobody. He just got him a little degree and a couple of little dollars, and he think he know everything. Even over DJ Torch, who is almost probably, I don't know, twice his age, maybe, and he don't know nothing. But he can't even listen to him as an elder. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and has no life experience, no point of reference, not even the past decade. He hasn't spent 1 decade of his life solely relying upon himself. But he has, once again, has all that. See, this is the problem. This is why they don't want to go outside to really play. They think they're going to sit there and play the numbers game. Yeah, if I walk out today, I have 1.5% chance of scoring versus yesterday when it was only 2 points or 3%. Like, whoa, y'all gonna live your life like this? Good luck. Your life is going to be boring.
Okay, I want to address a few comments. Let's address a few comments. It amazes me that we can sit up here and talk. We've been on here 2 hours and 45 minutes, and you still get comments such as, then why do Black women allow 304s to speak for all women? Why are the good ones silent? Like, we can sit up here and be on this stream every night saying the things that we're saying and still have people comment stuff like that as if we're not speaking. And then you have the lack of accountability goes both ways. That is why women like you can't see what really caused the boom of the single parents home in the Black community. I really don't understand what that comment means. Does anybody else understand that?
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying when this community has known for being single mom communities if we look back solely in our history. I mean, even on the plantation, there was a form of single motherness because obviously we were a part of an ownership situation where we had no agency over our own lives. So what are you talking about? And then once again, in terms of hierarchy, tradition, all of the patriarchy, all of these buzzwords that they're speaking of, those are under the umbrella of royalty, of which in this country, our so-called community has not been a part of. So they're arguing about a life. You're arguing about a life that unless you can show receipts that you've lived it, your dad has lived it, his father lived it, and his father. You have to go back 4 generations. It has to take 4 generations for the bloodline to get activated. Even Beyonce and Jay-Z are new money. Their great-grandchildren are going to have something going. Even if they don't leave them any money, they have to still have the name that has proper status for their legacy to have meant anything. So we don't even have that. So what are these guys talking about? Where are these good people? These good people. What is this good word? Like, what do these terms really mean? None of these people can come up here and tell us.
They can't. Not without repeating what's on the back of the pamphlet.
On the pamphlet, right. They go straight to the glossary and then they start repeating back the terms that we already know. And they still don't even understand the definition because like I said, even marriage, this comes from royalty. We all know that marriage was started from bartering and trading. I have rice, you have sugar. Your son is going to marry my daughter and we're going to have sugar and rice as two communities.
And they were specific about the people that they joined their children with. It wasn't just anybody. It was specific and it had to be beneficial for the one that had the most. That's the thing.
There we go.
I need to say something real quick. You guys, this is not a rec room, so please let's keep it chill. Let's keep it chill, guys. This is for everybody in the chat.
Call it out, DJ. What they doing?
Yeah, they're yelling at each other.
Blackmail effery.
Hey, come on, fellas, come on.
I'll snatch your level from you and burn it. What's the level?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of that.
I don't know, man.
Come on, y'all, you got to stop that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's on that. Okay, let's keep going.
Oh God, I want to snatch a level. I never did that.
Wait a minute. Unless he's talking about that tool that you use to like make sure something's plumb or something. The thing with the vials that got the bubble in it.
A leveler. JP,
well, that's a level. No, I'm just
snatch your level.
Oh man, look.
Well, in a way that is a good dance because I'll flatten you. I'll put you in a position to unlevel you. Yeah, I guess so.
Y'all wilding. Y'all take a chill pill. Drink some tea or something. Some water.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna explain that video.
Ask the question more directly. Are you gonna have sex with him if he flies you out?
depending on how he treats me, it may be a possibility. But I'm not just trying to find somebody to have sex with for something in return.
Well, so would you buy your own plane ticket, or you're only going if he buys your plane ticket?
I'm only going if he buys my plane ticket, because a man that's going to fit in the category of the man I'm searching for is going to do that.
Okay, but this is true. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the questions for
Yes.
the man that's watching to understand. So,
Right.
but also you were saying before, the things that you desire, you're willing to do whatever. So in this courting stage of getting to know him, he still has to pay, but you're not really automatically giving him whatever he desires.
If he automatically gives me what I desire, we can do that.
Okay, so I guess the clear question is, if you meet a guy, he doesn't live in North Carolina, he has to fly you out, you can expect sex, but there's no guarantee. But the only way to meet her in person is if you fly her out.
Absolutely. Unless we FaceTime. I mean, but other than that, I'm not buying my plane ticket to meet a man.
Okay. Do you want more kids?
In the future, yes. I want a big family. I want at least 5 minimum. That's always been my dream, to have a big family.
Is your goal to get married or just to cohabitate?
Wait a minute. Pause, DJ.
want...
She's obviously dreaming of something. I mean, 5 children? I mean, she
Right.
must be like an Energizer bunny or something. I mean, how much
It's not
cocaine
that
does
as
she
much
plan
as
on?
I think
That used to be the average.
No, but back then, child mortality rates were very high, so they had more.
Yeah,
to
that used to
ensure
be the
that
average. That used to be the average.
Did you not hear him?
No,
he
no,
said
no.
the reason why is because child mortality rate was high, so they had more children. Do you listen?
So if that shit was higher and it's lower now, you would
it's
more children aren't necessary nowadays. I mean, think about it. I mean, they got the medical technology nowadays to ensure the survival of children that might have been, born under
So if
drastic
there's been an
circumstances.
improvement,
2 is now 5 financially.
Exactly.
Like, I can't understand how you let these women overrun you.
Here he goes. There he goes.
And that wasn't even me this time.
Oh God,
man, that wasn't even. Was that a minute or 2? Did he make it 2 minutes?
No, he didn't make it.
Come on, DJ. Let him back on, DJ. I want to have a chat with him.
I'll let him back on. Okay.
God,
that wasn't time.
Let me say one thing real quick, and then I'll be quiet. It's not about being overrun by women or something. It's about having a conversation between people. I mean, most of them are women on here, of course. And some of us are men. I mean, we can make an exception or two, but it's about having a conversation intellectually. I mean, these guys, they make it seem like that a woman is somehow incapable of having a good idea or making a good solid point. I mean, there's more similarities between men and women than there are differences. Basically, I mean, we basically got the same brain in our skulls. We got the same organs for the most part, but it's just having conversations with people. It's not about one being over the other. I mean, that's how we got into the mess that we're in right now to begin with. Everybody's trying to control somebody else's life instead of just letting people make their own decisions and decide what's best for them as an individual. But I'll be quiet though. Y'all go ahead.
No, you good, JP. It's just prove me wrong. I mean, 2 kids is fine. That's all I said. Wasn't nothing to argue and debate about. Financially speaking, yes.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I mean, all them kids, I mean, and then like the money, I mean, how much money does she plan on making and stuff too? And then like not even the money, but the time and attention to give to each child,
But the thing about it is you let these women influence you into being illogical.
I think what you're worried about is your own point of view and not mine. I mean,
but DJ, I know that you're gonna run your show.
Give me an example of where you feel they convinced me to say something I should say.
I wasn't talking about you specifically, but him. He changed his answer just because the women attacked him, or not attacked him. They want to sell this narrative. Okay, so
You made a good
here
point.
you
You
go.
made a good point. You made a good point. What do you mean?
There you go.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying. I was trying to make a
What
logical
did he
point.
say that he backed out of?
Okay, infant mortality rates, right? They were really high back then. And the average amount of kids that were born was like 5. That was the average. That was the average amount of kids with a high infant mortality rate. Fast forward to now, where the infant mortality rate is almost insignificant. Wouldn't you think there would be more kids? I mean,
what does that have to do with the finances? What does that have to do with how much it's going to cost to raise the kid?
So you want to put that variable in there? You want to put that variable?
That's the main variable. What you mean? That's the essential component of what we're talking about here.
Wait a minute, Siobhan. What's funny to me is he just repeated exactly
You're gonna run right in.
He just repeated exactly what JP said, but he said JP changed his stance. You repeated what he said. I'm confused. I'm completely confused. You were arguing with JP as if he wasn't right. So I'm thoroughly confused.
And then I said, why the infant mortality rates are much lower? It's due to advancements and progressions in medical technology.
He's so drunk, he think he said that.
You know what, though? Hey, I'm not even worried about what anybody thinks. I'm just saying,
Cupcake.
If we've had advanced in technology,
what you drinking on?
Oh my God.
What you drinking on tonight?
Let me finish.
Tell me what you're drinking on.
Please. You need to share, bro, because I want to take a sip of that too.
Okay.
No problem.
What you drinking on though?
No.
You got that ripple.
Let's just
He just took a sip. Y'all heard that? He took a sip. What you drinking on, Cupcake?
Can we reason for a second?
Just hold on. Tell me what you're drinking.
No, I'm drinking Black and Tan Yingling.
Yingling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but hey, sounds good.
That stout stuff, huh?
Yeah, that's stout stuff. You know, I'm not off kilter. I'm still, on point. But anyway,
you off kilter because you didn't even say you heard me.
Man,
You didn't even say
on.
that right. You heard me. You said you.
I mean, you can say what you want to say. I mean, if infant mortality rates are lower, it would be reasonable to think that there would be more children.
But
right?
who's gonna raise them? So you want the state to raise more children? Because remember, you said the state raising these kids. So you want the state to raise more children?
Can you please not try to crash the car? Please.
No, the car already crashed. The airbags done bust. They don't work. Everybody dead. Come on, what do you mean?
Wait, and the car is up on bricks because they stole the tires while your dead body was sitting in there.
Right. All right, man. I mean, it's emotion over logic. Okay.
This is logic. We logically talk about counting up these dividends for these 5 children. We trying to send them to Harvard, Princeton, Yale. How much this gonna cost, Cupcake? Because this don't have nothing to do with
I asked a simple question. If infant mortality rates are lower, wouldn't you expect more children?
No, for what? That doesn't stop that. That doesn't happen.
All right. I rest my case.
Thank you for resting. Thank you for resting. Welcome, Woo.
Hey, what's up? Hey, everyone.
Hey, Woo.
How y'all doing?
What up? but Cupcake, look at it this way. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Woo.
Wait, JP.
No, go ahead. I was saying I was just coming up on the panel real quick, but I'll chime in a minute. Go ahead.
But think about it, Cupcake. I mean, back in those days too, a lot of women stayed in the home, mainly because the economic opportunities were extremely limited for women. I mean, there was some job opportunities. They could probably get like a secretarial job or go into like domestic service work, as a lot of Black and Hispanic women did back in those days. But a lot of women, stayed at home, and then the prices and the economy was way different than it is now. But nowadays, I mean,
JP, I'm sorry. Which women stayed at home? White women or Black women, or who? What women and what year?
I mean, mostly Black Hispanic women back then. I thought I said that. I mean, some of the women found work
You mean
in
you said
domestic service.
black
Oh
Hispanic
my, I'm
women
sorry.
stay?
Oh snap! I got tongue tied. My bad. Mainly white women and stuff. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'm just saying in general. My bad. No, but a lot of women stayed at home mainly because opportunities was cut off, especially like for like the higher earning occupations and stuff. I mean, it was a very limiting time for women and minorities. I mean, but but what I'm saying is, people had a lot of those children back then because somebody was always in the house to look after them. Uh, Usually for most of the time, I mean, whether it was a nanny as they called them or mammy as they called them in some cultures, babysitters and stuff. Sometimes like the community will look out after the kids, while the parents went to work. But nowadays, you got both parents working, so and then so less children got born basically because I mean, you have one child, you calculate pretty quickly how much time and energy you want to invest. I mean, now if you think you got the time and the money, the energy to invest in a large family, then go for it. But most people don't want to,
Those
expend
were
all that
called
energy.
nuclear families, and those don't exist anymore. It
They
was a
do
much.
exist, Cupcake.
But the
They do
thing is,
exist. They do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
black
do.
women has black women has always worked. I mean, you
Right,
maybe
right.
had a select few back in the day that had that luxury, but black women have always had to work. So I don't understand. I don't see how you guys go back to these old days where everyone was just traditional when that wasn't our reality. And I
You
feel
do
like
know how a nuclear family works, right?
Let's
yes,
be
I do.
clear. Let's be clear. She's right. The black women have
Yeah.
always worked.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Even if it was domestic work or
Right.
there's a lot of different types of work that black women did. Very few black women just were at home being, Susie Baker. That's
Yeah.
just not reality. That's not
Hold
reality,
on.
y'all.
I mean, I was trying to make
Either they
that
was
point
doing
Okay.
before I got tongue
housework
tied.
You know what a
or
nuclear
they were
family is,
keeping
right?
people's children.
Can you say
Where
it,
are you
sister?
going with this?
Sister, say again, because nobody heard you. People were talking. What'd you say?
I said, oh, I had just said that, either black women were either doing housework, like for its cleaning, or they were taking care of white women children, white housewives. They were taking care of housewives of white women children. Those women didn't even, had nannies, and they really didn't even need them. So black
Exactly.
women have
So what were
always
their daughters
worked.
doing? What were their daughters doing?
What are you talking about? What daughters? Whose daughters?
We'll just
You
go
know
ahead
what?
and finish. Go ahead and finish. That it was. Please finish your thought.
That was basically my thought. Like, so I don't see how these guys is getting like where, back in the day we just had this luxury. We never had a luxury. You might have had those select few black people that were maybe in a higher class and their wives didn't have to work, or that case. But black people, men and women, both had it hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, where they're coming from with this. Like,
It's
it's
the
like they're trying to live through how white people lived back in the day, and we didn't have that reality.
It's exactly that, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
victim Olympics. See, they have to prove that they're somehow more deprived and uh the racism is just against the male gender. It's baffling to me. It's baffling to
Yeah.
me that they want to deny that black women have stood beside them and been beside them and been discriminated against just as they have been discriminated against. But again, it's the victim gymnastics. We can't win the gymnastics unless we throw you out of your place and say that you didn't suffer anything. And I've seen that comment too, where a man is saying black women didn't suffer like black men. Your struggle is nowhere. It was really nothing compared to our struggle. I mean, Wideneck said that about his child's mother that he left with 4 kids. So that they somehow are dismissive of any of our pain and our grief because I, it's on they just can't see us because they're too busy seeing themselves and they don't
Yeah,
want to
it's
hear us and they don't
it's
they
extremely selfish. It's it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like we keep having this argument with them in circles, And it's like, if you don't believe what we're saying, go pick up a history book and read. You will see where it's documented. No, neither one of us, men or women, had it made. We all suffered. So I don't understand. It just, I don't know.
Well,
But you know,
we don't even have to go back to we don't have to go back to a history book. Right here, all of us. Whose great grandmama they know for a fact was a lovely stay at home mama with no stress? How many?
No,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
I
go
don't
to our
know.
grandmama.
I
Your
can't.
grandmama work? My grandmama work.
Mine did.
Mine did.
Y'all mama work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Y'all work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh, my
there it
bad.
is. There it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
There it
And you
is.
know
Right?
what? And you know what? Let's not forget the main component either, because they go so far back that they forget. First of all, they're going back to a time they never lived in. But we already actually debunked a lot of these talking points in the 90s when these talk shows began to hit, and we saw the fallout of what happened from 1,100 kids being born and the elder siblings having to take care of the younger ones. We saw that created a lot of discord and a lot of mental health problems as well. So here he is trying to bring us back to a time, and then now all of a sudden you're going to create these 5 children and start having child number 1 be a pseudo parent to child number 2, 3, 4, and 5 while y'all out working all day. Like, come on, haven't we learned from those so-called mistakes?
I want to jump in here. So there was a short period of time when the Black men came back from war, maybe World War One, and Black women were at home. You know, there was a little money, and they were able to be at home for a short period of time, and white women were jealous that these Black women were able to kind of have a soft life, if you will, if you can call it that. But they were at home while their husbands were working, and they actually passed ordinances that Black women who weren't already working had to take care of the white women's children and their households and leave their children at home. There's a movie called The Help that shows a little bit of that, but they forced people out of their homes to go work for white people after slavery. So the fact that we've always and we did not have our men to protect us from that. I'm not saying that they could have, but that's just the way it is. So we've been working forever. That's my 2 cents.
I mean, yeah, man,
Yes,
that's that.
lady, you're right about that. I just wanted to say, because that was them rebuilding the infrastructure, and that's when they began to advertise the nuclear family in terms of what became of the 1950s.
Right. I
Oh
wanted
yeah, leave it to
and
Beaver,
we have to
basically.
Right.
we have to ceaselessly bring these, and this is why I hate having conversations with certain demographic of people, because we always have to qualify, we always have to go back. This is why we can't advance. This is why the Black demographic can't advance, because we're always having conversations with the outliers about things that we've already talked about, such as welfare. I mean, if people would get here early, I've already said it, 37% of Black people are on welfare, 37% of us. So and that's not counting the incarcerated demographic, because that's a form of welfare as well. And so there's not an overabundance of Black single mothers on welfare. There just isn't.
But hold on, Gemini, hold on. We were actually, I don't know what year he's in, but he forgot we got in the car and we're now in the 20s. We were in the 20s and 30s. We weren't receiving welfare in our community then. So, he's in another time period, whoever made that comment.
Right. But you know,
because
that time
we didn't even start getting welfare like that to the latter 60s, 70s, as far as, the numbers start racking up in our community. We weren't getting that in the 20s and 30s. What is he talking about?
He doesn't know.
That's the problem with these messages going around. And it's unfortunate that these people have access, but they're not going to go and do their due diligence, but they're listening to these talking points, and you're sitting here talking about having benefits that weren't even created for Black women, let alone introduced to us.
Yes, and I want
Shout out to the sister that brought up the movie to help. I mean, you know what? If we need to go surface level, watch the help, and
are you
you
done?
understand what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
So I was a woman called in from Aruba in a program I was listening to today, and she said her nephew is 14 years old, and he told her that he said women are gold diggers. They ain't nothing but gold diggers. And she asked him, she told him, you don't have any money, you have no gold. And that's something that people have been having to tell these people who are listening to these talking points that are are false and are really damaging our children. And I know you manosphere, red pill people don't care, but let me just tell you, people around the world are listening to you, and you're damaging people. You're damaging children. You're damaging families. People are very impressionable, and you may not know it, but people around the world listen to Americans. They want to emulate us. We've spread our garbage throughout the country through our rap music our men have given us. And now with this red pill garbage, you're only going to create you already have. You created a problem, not only in the United States, but throughout the world. So congratulations for that. And every time you open your mouth and say something that's, is extremely detrimental, you're not just harming yourself, you're harming the world. I know you don't care, but just so you know.
And because they don't care,
Congratulations to Black
and
women.
because they don't care, I will continuously say it's beyond time for Black women to separate our image. They have been able to define our image for far too long in music and movies and in entertainment. It's time for us to reclaim our image. We do not have to be beholden to the image of Black men. We need to be out here showing who we are as individual and as autonomous beings.
Can I say something real quick?
And let's not forget, hold on, let me just say this real quick. Let's not forget either what's not being discussed. In the 70s alone, let alone the 80s, wasn't it a theme in the community that brothers came up with where they said, we're going to take the benefits of the man and live off of them because they owe us? So wasn't that a bunch of men laying up off of the benefits of their women?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was power to the people. We're going to take the man. The man been bringing us down. The man. So we're going to take the man's benefit. We're going to take his government cheese. We're going to take his wick. Weren't all these programs that were created, the Panthers created that? Those were the women that created the wick program. And men laid up off of that as well.
That's right.
Can I say something? Or is it my turn? All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
The thing about it is, congratulations, Black women. You have created in different in different countries where you guys are used.
One.
I mean, if women have that, if Black women have that much power, what is the use for them?
Man, y'all crazy on this month, man.
They say we do. What is the use for them?
Right, Woo, exactly. Exactly.
They're making themselves,
obsolete.
If we have that much power over culture, over how people see us, over relationships, over finance, what is the use for you? You're basically useless. So
exactly. Now I'm feeling like when they get the reparations, y'all need to just go ahead, Black men. You're gonna have to hand over your check too.
Hand it over, because obviously you can't manage nothing. You're always in trouble. You're always a victim. So hand over the check and let us take care of it. Because obviously you don't have the qualities, to be a leader. Because everybody always take you down. First it was the white man, and now it's the Black woman. I mean, who are they going to blame next?
Right, the children.
The children.
They
already have started blaming the children. Actually,
right, in proxy. I mean, because it's in proximity. So by blaming the Black woman who's the single mother, they're blaming the children.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't started blaming the dog yet.
I was about to say that the pets are next.
Well, wait a minute, because they did say that we were supposed to get dogs and die alone. So they're not dogs. Are not.
Yeah, the dog and the cat.
These poor dogs is going to get rounded up and be blamed for the Black man's plot in life. So
blame it on the cat.
No, man.
I mean, it's everybody's the government.
So wait a minute. We going from pookies to poochies, right? Poochies.
Okay. We'll let you have that one.
No. Okay, I'll chill out. Y'all go ahead.
No, you could.
One of the things I wanted to mention, ladies, have y'all heard of this book called Heal Thyself, The Sacred Womb by Queen Afua?
No, I haven't.
I suggest that book for women, for womanhood, women of all ages, and it's a pretty deep book. It's about healing the womb, and I just bring that up because I think it's appropriate for like this particular thing we're talking about. Because Queen Afua is a healer, a Black woman who is a healer, based out of New York, and she's a holistic healer. And I'm not trying to plug her book. I'm just telling y'all this book is amazing because what it does is it says that the womb is basically like next to the soul in a woman, and her heart and her health, her whole everything, her psychological disposition, like everything about a woman, that it lays in the womb. And so she talks about bringing the physical, spiritual, emotional, everything, sexual, all together and healing the womb. And I just think that's some good work to do. So they call it womb healing work. And once you kind of get that idea that the womb is the center of your health and your grounding, you kind of relate to yourself different. And one of the things she does is she asks women to go and have a conversation with their womb. What have I done to you? Why are you angry with me? Oh, it's some good stuff. It
sounds powerful.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of that again?
Yeah.
I think it's called Heal. I want to say it's called. I got so many books by her. Let me see here. I think it's called Woman Heal Thyself. The Sacred Womb. Woman Heal Thyself.
Thank you.
For sure. And I'm wondering just like, what do y'all think about the idea of sacredness of wombs in general?
I think you think about that, it's reasonable. It makes sense. It makes sense because so much of us is connected to that. Like I was saying earlier when somebody was saying how many men women sleep with, and they thought that women are allowing this many men to women are receiving this many men inside of them. I'm just repulsed by the thought of it. I'm repulsed by the very thought of someone saying that this happens with most women, because when you're connected to that aspect of you, it is spiritual. It's a whole entire different. You're on a whole different type of atmosphere when you're connected to that. When you're mindful of that, and it brings clarity, and that's why celibacy is a good thing. And not sleeping with a man that you're entertaining is a good thing, but because you have clarity of mind. There are things that once you have intercourse with a man, it disrupts so much. It disrupts physically, it disrupts mentally, it disrupts emotionally. And you don't have a clear mind when dealing with a man. So if you're dealing with a man and you're dealing with him for 3 months, you could see everything. It's like when you allow that man to enter you, it's like blinders go up. Like they bring blinds.
That's true. And they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it closes off your eyes. And so when you're dealing with them and you haven't slept with them, you're able to say, "Oh no!" In 2 weeks, in a week, you're able to say, "Oh no, you're not going to be it for me." So it enables you to see with clarity. So yes, I do believe the womb is very connected to your being, very connected to your mind.
Yeah, so much so that when women were going through their change of life, and we start having all these different things that are happening that surround our womb as it changes, the go-to surgery that doctors would do would be perform a hysterectomy and then partial hysterectomies. But they tell you now, do whatever you can to keep your to keep it.
Yeah.
Don't do it because
Right.
you age very quickly after that. If you allow them to perform that, that surgery. And
Especially, especially total. If at all you can keep your ovaries, you keep your ovaries. Sometimes you don't have a choice but to let go of your uterus. But if at all possible, keep your ovaries, because
yes,
that's where your hormones still lie.
yes, I agree. It's very, very sacred. You guys are nurses. I know some of you, you know more about this than I do, but I totally agree, Gemini.
Yeah, and that's part of the solution too for us black women. That's part of the solution. Not only them standards, boundaries, and expectations, but if we like start doing, you know, recovery and healing, especially the womb, and we start treating it as if it is like the most sacred thing in the world, our whole relation to men will be enhanced. And everything's not all gloom and doom. It's a lot of good stuff that comes out of that. We can birth healthier babies, more babies, have better fertility. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff that comes out of healing. And like you said, saving your womb, not having to have a hysterectomy, God forbid that happens to somebody. But yeah, especially with the fertility rates going down, low birth rates all over the world. So I mean, this might be the time women raise their expectations, and then also that will give us opportunity to better quality men. And when we love ourselves, we won't give access to lower quality men.
And I know that people don't
Yes.
want to believe this, but it's a movement. Like, I'm seeing so many comments on so many different women's channels where women have decided to opt out of having relationships and being celibate, and having clarity of mind and focusing on themselves because it's needed. Not to say that, they won't eventually seek relationships, but for the most part, these women are saying this is not worth it. What's out here is not worth it for us right now. And
That
so,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna chime in and say I agree because you're right. There's this common thing people are saying now is, soul ties. They've made it so common that it's overused, but it's true. A woman can have so much accomplished in her life if she is not sharing her body when she doesn't have to. um, I say women should give it a shot if they're, not in a relationship where it's a requirement, if you will. I wouldn't recommend it for somebody who's in a relationship with someone because these guys get crazy. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it and do some healing things for yourself if it's something you're doing, you know, um, like it's not something that you usually do. It'll make you refocus and think about who you have been letting into your life. And if you break this kind of that tie you might have with someone who you feel isn't for you, but it's just become a habit. Because I think a lot of times women fall into a habit space.
This is what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
That's their mindset. We're supposed to do this. Is what's supposed to happen. When in all actuality, it's not. That's not what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is a man is supposed to marry you to get that sacred part of yourself. That's
Right.
what's really supposed to happen.
Right. You don't owe your body to anyone you haven't made a commitment to. And I would say a real commitment, not just saying, that's my man, that's my situationship. I mean, I wish we could get rid of this whole situationship mess because it is garbage. It is letting men get away with having your body and somebody else's body in anybody's body. It's really being giving a pass to having an open relationship is what it is, because it is a relationship.
It is. And it's given away too casually. It's given away without consequence. And if someone wanted to talk about accountability, that's where it could start, because that's where it starts.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
essentially, that's where it starts. I mean, it really starts in our mind and changing our mindset. But again, if we're talking surface level, base level, like these men talk, that's where it starts. Is giving away your body.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we, I think we definitely do, we need to do that. Just hold ourselves sacred, and just the accountability is there. I mean, we have to understand that we teach people how to treat us.
That's
That's
it.
us.
Yes.
That is us. You are teaching someone how to treat you, how to handle you, and all of that stuff. And when you don't like it, when you know something's not acceptable, we got to learn to not worry about being nice women and people pleasers. And we just have to walk away and
Mhm.
say no, thank you, and understand that's okay.
And we will have to say that to other women as well.
What do you mean?
Absolutely.
Well, when women who want to be argumentative about this station, this move that we need to make to be healing to ourselves, these women that just think that our ideologies are some kind of way outlandish and they can't get on board with them. Well, if you can't get on board with them, that's fine. But we're not going to argue with you about this life changing thing that needs to happen.
Absolutely. This is your body and your life, and no one is going to be no one's going to suffer the consequences but you. So,
Exactly.
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 mhm.
But see,
Okay,
that's what
so
we were talking about yesterday. Is this, even in our conversation, it was like all this male energy having entitlement to
mhm.
keep track of coochie. What the coochie been doing? Got to report the coochie. I own that coochie. How many other men got that coochie? And that's why I kept saying we got to really pull back from that. There's somebody else. This mine. It's mine. It ain't yours. And once you understand it's yours and you don't owe it to nobody, then at that point you can decide how you want to deal with it. And I
Mhm.
just think that so many women have given that power over. They think they owe it. That's why, somebody was saying something on Peso's show earlier, talking about they don't do 50-50. That's what they said, right? When it comes to dates, women, and all this traditional stuff. I was like, that's cute. But when I was dating my husband, we had a formal courtship. But when I was dating him, I insisted that I pay 50%. And I know people might think, oh, whatever, whatever, that's crazy. And that he had it. I wasn't worried about that. But what I wanted to do is maintain my space. I don't want any man to ever think that I have collected this many dinners or this many, whatever on a date, and that I'm building up a bill. I don't even like that thought. And I'm not saying he would have had that, but that is popular culture. I'm investing. That's what these red pill guys do, right?
I will
I,
tell you that that's the secret probably to getting a mate, because I did the same thing. And when I was dating and there was a guy who I knew would not be the guy for me, I would say, look, I got we can go 50-50 when I knew it was not going to go anywhere. But the men I ended up marrying, oh yeah, he took care of everything because I was preparing him to be my husband. So I think when you and and this is something that the guys get upset about, and it's true. I mean, I will have to admit this. I hear a lot of this, women using men, they hate this, using them for dates when you know that you don't even like him and you're going out with him just for food. I'm like, okay, you have to be safe yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
You are asking for it, especially in this climate. If you're being a dishonest dater, you are asking for trouble. So I would just put that caution out there to people. If you're seeing someone and you don't like him, offer to pay your share and just treat him like a friend. Put him in the friend zone and let him know that, because he feels entitled when he spends
Mhm.
money on you.
Mhm.
well, see, I guess I was a little bit different. I just know that dynamic. I just didn't want to have it. You know what I'm saying? For me, I just didn't. I get what you're saying though. Marriage material, and the man should get in the habit of paying and everything. But I don't know. I felt like I felt more confident. Maybe that's the feminist in me. I just feel more confident going on a date, knowing that I am just doing what I want to do, spending time how I want to spend it with this person, and there's not this economic part because we're not on that level. We're not on that level right now. We're just getting to know each other, and I didn't. I'll give you a perfect example. It was times when I had went to a bar, and I've just noticed that men do that. Men like to use money to control women, and I just wanted to feel very autonomous in the dating process. I've been y'all all have had this experience. You go to a bar, you mind your own business, and this dude comes over with the drink or sends it by the waitress, and then if you accept the drink, then this fool proceeds to come over and try to talk and holler, and then he think you owe him something. And I guess it's just me and my mentality about men. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I've had that experience. They think they own you for the night because they bought you a drink.
Right. And I guess that's me. I don't know. I guess that was just my perspective. I mean, everybody just does stuff. Everybody does stuff different. But I totally see what you're saying. Like, I was making sure that the man who I would marry, what you're saying, would understand from day one he's a provider. So you were laying that foundation. I totally get it. Everybody's gonna definitely approach it
Differently.
Yeah, differently.
I really have enjoyed you guys. This has been awesome. We didn't really get to talk about the crisis as much as we would have liked to, but again, I love how organic our conversations are, especially when we can proceed uninterrupted by a whole bunch of clownery and foolery. Because I do believe that we have just a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience that we could share with one another, and then we could share with people that come into the chat. And I really love that for the most part, those of us who come here are peaceful, and we seek peace with one another, and we seek the betterment of each other. And again, it's the tribe, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a healing thing, and I don't know that everybody is aware of how healing these conversations can be for each other and for other people. And I just am grateful for all the women that come up.
Thank you. Same here. I feel the same about you and everyone that came up today. Thank you for this space. Gemini, you do a great job. And you too. Thank you, DJ, if you're still there.
He's still there.
Thanks,
He's
Gemini.
somewhere
Everybody.
munching on some food, probably.
Thank you. You got me with my mind. Thank you so much, everybody. Brother be starving.
No, yeah, go on and eat.
Wait, he needs to tell Alexa and Siri to fix him a plate.
Women.
They'll make them, they might, Alexa's tied into my internet again, so don't say that. She might shut me down.
Okay, so we're gonna do some final words. JP, you want to start? Final words.
It's been an honor. I ain't really got much to say. So I'll give up my time. Thank you, DJ, Jim.
JP,
shout y'all out.
A pleasure as usual.
Yes, thank you. You're my little I say Wikipedia. I know it's not Wikipedia because Wikipedia is not factual, but that's my short for you is my Wikipedia. Thank you for coming, JP. Siobhan.
Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoy talking to everyone. Even though sometimes we have some of these little obnoxious experiences, they're still interesting and entertaining nonetheless. But it's good to know that we can establish a form of order eventually, no matter what may pursue. But I just want to specifically say my message would be to the young people, especially after hearing this young man tonight and thinking about how so many of these young people think that they're going to come online and super glue a bunch of people's talking points together and create a perfect life. It doesn't exist. And
exactly.
It's unfortunate for young people in particular, because every generation goes through that, where the young people get mad at the older people and they feel like they don't have anyone to reach out to. But if you're going to act like you're a know-it-all, you're going to lose the attention span of elders. So that's just a little unsolicited advice to younger people. You have to hit the pavement. You got to bump your head. You're going to make some mistakes. But the main message is don't create an island around yourself with shark-infested waters surrounding it. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. May, you're next.
Okay. I love what Siobhan said. She's had some really great insights. And I just love being part of this channel because it's just so much knowledge and so much wisdom. And I think that what she said is really, really important. That we have to be humble and we have to not be robotic and maintain your independent thinking, but don't be so independent that you fall into the traps of egotism and narcissism. And I think that that's some real good wisdom, and just appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you, May. Creative Solutions, are you there, sweet?
Oh yes, I'm here. All I have to say is just that when we're talking, it's not for y'all, but like just in general, I just wanted to make the emphasis that a lot of single moms are like doing this alone, and I just want people to have the mind frame that the last thing that you would want to do is to break down somebody who has a huge responsibility. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I think they should be empowered because, again, the way that person feels is going to dictate how that child grows up. Yep, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Creative.
Very well said. Very well said.
A lady?
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I'm not going to talk long. Everybody has some really great comments today. I wish I would have been here earlier because this is one of the topics I think we need to discuss. So maybe we can talk about this, every now and then. It's really important. I agree with, I think that was Creative. Yeah. Single moms they got it hard, but there is something we can do to avoid being in that situation or, let's say, making sure that when we do become a mom, we're ready, and we should encourage the young people that they are in control of their bodies, and it's up to them to decide, and tell them it's not the best thing to do when you're really young to be to have a child if you're not ready. So thank you guys. Have a good night, everybody, and chat you guys too.
Thank you, a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cupcake.
I just came back on, but anyways, man, shout out to DJ Torch. Shout out to your whole panel and everything. But damn, boy, this is like we so far gone. We can't even agree on anything. I think logic is not precedent. You know what I'm saying? It's all about feelings. I mean, there's a lot of things that we got to tackle, I guess, as a community. I really don't even think that we can do it. I mean, I can be optimistic, but it's probably not going to happen. But man, keep doing your thing, man. Hopefully, you get over 1,000, subscribers, so you can get the super chats and shit. Make it happen, man. But be easy, y'all.
Can I say something? I don't. Oh goodness! Can I please say something? I can't have us close like this. Yeah, no.
Go ahead, Siobhan.
I just want to, make a note that the emotion that he just argued against in logic, there's no way that logic would have been able to lead his mother or any other mother into nursing a child back to health. That takes emotion. That doesn't just take knowledge. It doesn't just take a pill or an oral contraceptive for a child to swallow. The love heals all wounds, and that takes emotion. That's it.
Thank you. There's been a lot said, a lot unsaid. We appreciate everyone for coming out. We want to encourage you guys to just take the time out to meditate and have a peaceful moment to reflect. I think we don't do enough reflecting, and we don't do enough introspection as a group. And so we should do those things. And even if you come back and rewatch a certain part of segment that you may not have heard properly, or that you may need to think back on, it's good to revisit and maybe get some points. Like there were books that were promoted, and so you may want to come back and say, what was that book that May talked about? So just as you end your Friday, we hope that everything is well. Love on your families, love on your friends, and have a great Friday night.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
All right, everybody. I'd like to shout out everybody on the who was on the panel.
Money work.
Also, everybody in the chat by the names of Act Natural, Bonneray, Hey Lady, Melinda, Inner Life. Thank you so much for coming through Inner Life. Creative Solutions. Woo! Said it. JP Nobody. Leia. May the Alchemist. Chavon. Beautiful Gift. I got some more for you. Peace Purveyor was in the house. Sutton Bell in the house. Juju in the house. Venus Scorpio in the house. Strum.
Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber.
Big Cap was in the house.
No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work, yeah. El mundo quiere dinero, yeah, yeah. Money work, se arregla con dinero, yeah.
Scott Haywood, Lena Kendall, Andre.
La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón, yeah.
King Lucifer.
No te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Happy Life.
Money work. Money work. Money work. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Ben Perith.
Lunático.